Oh my god, only 4 XP is what you're currently listening to. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host for this week, William, and joining me tonight is Ben.
Hello.
And we also have Orion.
Hi guys.
We also have Zach.
Fucker just died.
Hello.
And I think that's pretty much everyone that's here, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, great. And so, what is it? Oh yeah, Matt's here as well.
Oh, you made
Matt.
it cry. Oh, mate, I'll fuck you up, yeah, mate.
I am pissing my pants.
Bit of the old how's your father?
Nice.
I have
What
no
are we talking
idea
about
what that
tonight,
means.
Will?
We're going to be talking about how disappointing Man of Steel was. No, we can be talking about the awesome week we've all just had. Mostly because I think pretty much everyone except Ben, unfortunately, had it off, and we could spend it spending way too much time in front of the computer watching streams at 4 o'clock in the morning. We're going to be talking about video games. Last week, E3 happened, which is kind of like the video game was Christmas, is what people describe it. I think, who was it, Jack Tretton for Sony, who described it as it's like birthday and Christmas and Thanksgiving all rolled into one, which is understandable because it happens once a year and you get a ton of surprises. But I think first off we'll just talk about some what we've been playing this week, because I understand that new game releases, people have finished games that they'd started, and I actually don't know what Zach, Ben and Ryan have actually been playing. So Ben, why don't you kick us off? What video games have you been playing this week, man?
Not a lot. I have just completed 51 hours of my week of work.
So you've been playing Life.
Yeah, I've been playing the game Life. But I've been playing Adult, and I don't like that game. It sucks.
Fucking sucks, man. Like, especially because it's always just hardcore mode.
Yeah. I played Killzone 3 on the PS3 for about 10 minutes and then got pissed off with the latency on the controller. I think it's a latency. Is that is it when you're like you hit turn on the analog stick and it takes like a millisecond to turn? Like it's like
I think a
little
millisecond
bit
would
slower.
be a pretty good response time.
I would say
Okay,
millisecond. That
well,
sounds
like-
damn good.
Okay, well it's like a little bit slower. So
No, I know what you mean.
noticeable.
Yeah.
Because like when you're playing COD, you've got like it flows like perfectly, but then on the PS3, I'm trying to hit people, but I'm sort of like juddering, and I'm like just too slow, and it's taking like forever to kill people. It's harder to aim, and that just really pissed me off.
Is that? Do you think that's because of the game, or you're not used to the PlayStation controller, or what?
See, I think it's because of the game, because like playing, like I have or had MotorStorm Apocalypse for it. It's a driving game, and that is it. It was fine, wasn't it? Because Matt, I remember you played it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And
No,
like,
yeah, it was
everything
fine.
like it responded almost instantly, or it felt like it did. Infamous 2, the same there, responded perfectly. But then I put in Killzone 3, and it didn't. Like it was noticeably slow.
How much Infamous 2 did you play?
I played it quite a bit.
I recently downloaded that for free because it's obviously on PlayStation Plus, and I finished it. I was off with the flu or like sickness for like 3 days, and I was pretty much bound to bed, and I just played Infamous 2. I thought it was really good.
Let's face it, you ate a fuckload of pizza and you had the shits for 3 days.
Well, I had the lack of the shits for 3 days.
That's because
That's
you
what I
say
call a weekend.
sickness.
Yeah, no, I think like the second and third, like the third day especially, I probably could have gone to work, but I had to finish Infamous 2.
And on the third day, he returned from a cave or something. I don't know.
Fifth day got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Like-
my time with Killzone 3 being unmemorable, but I don't remember any controller issues. So I don't know.
Maybe it's
that's
my controller. I don't know.
Because it
maybe.
was unmemorable.
Yeah, like for all I know, yeah, I could have had an issue with it and just been used to it. I mean, I played Killzone 2 as well on PS3, so maybe I was just kind of used to it, if that's just what the game is. Have you been playing anything else, or just unfortunately a bit of Killzone 3?
I mean, I played Dead Island. What I didn't say last week was I played Dead Island Riptide, and I think I'll mention that because it's something different other than Battlefield 3, Diablo 3, and COD, which I'm pretty sure everyone will say they have been playing.
What are those games? I haven't heard of those before.
Oh, really? Then you should check out our previous podcast. Links in the description.
The link won't be in the description.
Fuck you,
Yeah,
Will.
put the link in the description now.
Lies!
I'm a liar.
You swine!
No, you got to go to our channel page if you want to get to the podcast.
We'll
Eh?
have a link to the channel.
Ah!
If we're talking about PS3 still, I put in Mod Nation Racers and had to do a massive update, so I couldn't be fucked to play that. Put in Little Big Planet 2, had a massive update, so I couldn't be fucked to play that. Went on my Xbox, played Modern Warfare 2, died immediately, so turned that off. And probably Facebooked and watched some porn.
That sounds... I mean, okay, so firstly, the PlayStation 3 updating thing sounds like every PlayStation 3 game ever. That thing fucking updates if you sneeze the wrong way. Modern Warfare 2 dying straight away. Yep, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And,
I got tubed, which
as
just
for the
sort of
Facebook
made me
porn,
just... Oh.
I didn't do the Facebook stuff.
I just did the porn.
Yeah, actually, it sounds like you got through. You wanted to play a lot of games this week, but just nothing kind of grabbed you. But I've got some good news for you, Ben, because there are new video games coming out sometime in the
Holy
future.
shit! Please tell me more!
You'll have to wait around a little bit longer before we talk about that, boy. Nice.
Okay. Nice. You don't sound like a pedo at all!
Speaking of pedos, Ryan, what have you been playing? I'm sorry.
What an awesome transition. Oh yeah.
That was really mean.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Well, you're the only Ryan that's in here.
And you're the only paedophile that's in here.
Yeah.
You.
that's-
Hey, it's not
let's
my
just
fault
be
you
clear.
had to touch on it, boys.
It was all acquitted, right? No charges were pressed.
Look, as
Right.
long as
Leave
Ryan
Ryan
doesn't
alone.
act on his urges, he's perfectly legal.
Right, of course Ryan's legal.
Ryan, save yourself. What video game are you playing?
What do you...
More Diablo.
Oh, tell me about Diablo or not. Up to
Either
I've nearly got my barbarian to level 60 now, which is my mission to get every character or class to level 60.
you. Okay.
And then I played a bit of Battlefield 3 earlier, the campaign on hard, and had to do one mission about 11 times. Kept dying.
That sounds really lame because I remember really disliking the Battlefield 3 campaign.
Yeah. I don't know why, I watched the Battlefield 4 trailer, and then, thought I'd play Battlefield 3 again.
Yeah, I can't wait for that fourth game.
It looks
Hopefully
hench.
we will talk. I probably will talk about it at length in a bit. But yeah, like it's cool because it looks so similar to 3, but it's obviously got those big differences. But to get yourself in the mood for 4, just got to play a bit of 3, and 3's still an awesome game. We should do that later.
Indeed.
Maybe if we're all still on afterwards, I want to play some Battlefield 3. Have you been playing anything else, Ryan?
No, I think that's about it really. Lots of
Cool.
Diablo.
We're getting through this quick.
You definitely were in StarCraft
Huh?
for a night. You went on StarCraft
Yeah.
for a night.
We can do.
Wait,
Haven't been on any this
Ryan
week.
on StarCraft for a night.
I went on for like one game and then got a bit bored because no one else was on.
Ryan on StarCraft for a night.
Wait,
Sounds
that's kind of my night.
Sounds kind of kinky to me.
Sounds hot.
I don't even know
That's
what
hard.
StarCraft is. However, what I do know about is that Matt has been playing video games. So Matt, video games, right?
Am I next on the list? That's what's important.
No, but you skip ahead because you've been
No.
playing video games.
No, we have a set of rules. Stick to the set of rules.
No, it's
Okay, if you want to
fact
stick to the
4 is
rules,
up
you
there.
are actually next on the list.
Oh, okay. Oh, if I'm next on the list. What video games have I been playing this week?
Psst, you finished Metro.
Um,
If you need help.
Let me just check my Steam library.
That's a really good point. If you just right click on your Steam and just see what games you've been playing recently. Yeah, oh wow, yeah, I forgot half those games. Sweet.
I don't want to alt tab out of GTA though.
So you've been playing GTA, Matt?
I'm gonna be daring. Oh fucking hell.
Everything just died.
No. Okay, right. Sorry. Obviously, yep. Today I've been playing GTA episodes from Liberty City, and I've been playing the Ballad of Gay Tony. Because
What brought that on?
people have always. I recently some podcasts I was watching mentioned it, and they were saying, "Oh, you know, it's better than the original GTA 4." You know, so if you kind of want a sort of tight GTA experience that you can kind of do in a short space of time, you should play Ballad of Gay Tony. So far, it's not really that impressive. I don't see what people are on about, really.
Yeah, as far as
There's a-
tight
there's a few.
experiences, the Battle of Gay Tony is not tight.
No, it's
You know
like
what I mean?
that's pretty gay.
Anal sex.
It's got a couple of good missions so far, like letting you drive a tank. That was pretty cool. Giving you a shotgun with explosive ammo, which is pretty cool. But then they take it away from you, which sucks dick.
Motherfuckers.
But yeah, that's it for GTA. And then I finished Metro last night, which I've already spoken to Will about. But yeah, the first half of that game was a 5. The last half was a 1 out of 5.
Oh,
Like it was really good at the beginning, but about halfway through it kind of turns into COD, where it's just kind of running around shooting, and there's not really much drive to it. So
Which was really the problem with the first game, right? I mean, that's what, like,
Yeah.
thinking back on it.
Both,
The first half of the game had the atmosphere, unfortunately had the really shitty stealth sections. And then as you, like, as you got to the point, like, yeah, the halfway point of the game where you had enough ammo for the designers to start throwing monsters at you, they just started doing that, and, you know, it
Oh,
lost its
whoa.
atmosphere because it turned into COD.
I'd have to argue that, I mean, they don't give you that much ammo. I think they learned from that in the first game, well, in the second game, sorry, because I was doing a boss fight with a big bear, and I ran out of ammo. So I was running around for maybe 15 minutes, trying to avoid getting hit by this bear, trying to figure out what to do. I ended up like stabbing it until I just eventually died. And so like the second half of the game is not only shit, it's like really frustratingly shit. Like
So it's
there's
actually
certain-
kind of closer to the kind of Russian simulator, right? Because they stab bears over there, don't they?
something like that.
Yeah. I'm disappointed to hear that Last Light. I was going to make a joke there or a pun there about Light, you know, going out before its time, but I can't think of
Please
it.
don't just stop.
It's it sucks because that game it seems so promising and it looks amazing,
Yeah.
and that world
think-
is ripe for a good game. But yeah, if they seem to be making the same mistakes.
It seems to me like the first half was really good, and I remember some shit going down with the studio that was doing it.
Oh, with THQ, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously
the-
THQ went under. I think was it THQ?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went under, and then obviously the game got picked up again, and the second half reeks of a game that has been rushed out the door. Like, it didn't seem finished. Like, it didn't seem like it was all there.
You know what? I would totally argue that again, like I only have the first game as a reference, but that sounds like the ends felt like for Metro 2033, it felt I can't actually remember what happened because it all happened so quickly. It just moves from set piece to set piece so quickly. It all feels
Yeah.
really half finished, and then oh by the way, aliens, and you're at the end.
No, yeah, the second game does that towards the end as well. It's just like, oh, by the way, the Dark Ones, psychic powers and shit. Obviously, you don't get psychic powers. That'd be stupid. But
Don't ruin it.
I, I didn't. But I'm just saying, it's not that great. But I think that's really all I've got to say. Starts out
But-
strong, fizzles out.
It does have the Ainsley Harrier booby tech.
That is probably the other redeeming feature of that game, is that it uses DirectX 11 in some really cool ways. Not only
And it
with
seems-
the obvious booby tech, but just like graphically and sort of the engine it uses, it seems really well optimized, and it seems like it's a very pretty game. Like, it's a good sort of, I think it's a good benchmark game.
And it seems like those like the town areas where you visit just feel to be like from the videos I saw of yours, that there's just so much
Yeah.
life and stuff going on, and just
No,
like
yeah,
one-off
definitely.
animations.
I
But
think-
yeah, you could have an entire game based there basically.
And most of that, like, I think the videos I made, the first, I think I made 2 10-minute videos, so let's say 20 minutes. That is 10 plus 10, I think. Like, the 15 minutes of that video was all from like the first half of the game, and the last 5 minutes of that video was mainly from the second half of the game, which was like, I mean, the first half of the game I'd say was probably about 4 hours. Like, after the 4 hour mark, it kind of got shit, and the other 6 hours weren't as great.
So it's not an
obviously I
overly
didn't have
long
much
game
content.
either, but it's
No.
an
very
alright,
much so
you
not.
know. Alright, yeah, it sounds like it's an alright length. Not your epic, but nothing like you know your 4 hour finish it in an afternoon fest thing.
Yeah, that's what I did. I literally, as it started getting shit, I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit down and finish this game because I want to get it out of the way as quickly as possible, because I'm not really enjoying myself with it. But I did want to see it. I mean, obviously it was compelling enough to see it through to the end. Like, it started so strongly that I had hoped that maybe it'd come back towards the end, but it didn't.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but that is exactly the first game. Yeah, I just wanted
Yeah.
to just
No,
finish
yeah,
it, and then
it's-
hoping it would get
seems like-
better, and it just didn't.
I mean, I think they didn't repeat the same mistakes. The stealth sections are much better. There's obviously achievements, because obviously it's Steam. It's got Steam achievements. You know, there's achievements for going through the entire game without killing anything, without
Oh
killing
bloody really?
anybody or something like that. So
From playing the game, how you know
I'd say it's
difficult would
completely
you say that
possible.
would be? Yeah.
Like, it'd be difficult, but the AI isn't too great.
But what
And
about like the boss
towards-
fights, the bear boss fight, say?
No, obviously, I think you'd have to kill things. I think the boss fights, you definitely have to kill them. But the thing is,
So
like, there's not
So-
that many boss fights, though.
It's like a Deus Ex thing where it's like, don't
Yeah.
kill anyone except the bosses.
I think they kind of have to do that. They wouldn't, otherwise, you know, obviously. Mind you, saying that, I don't think you actually kill the bear.
Oh,
I
that's
think you
good.
just wound it,
Peter will be
and
happy.
it runs off. But yeah, I think we've talked enough about Metro, to be honest.
So, Last Light, Ballad of Gay Tony. Anything else caught your eye this week?
Apparently, I played Saints Row the Third. Don't remember playing
Your
that.
sister played a shitload of Saints Row the Third. I remember that.
Yeah, she played it for like a straight fucking 6 hours.
You know what? I
But, you
totally
know,
don't blame her. That game's fucking
no,
awesome,
yeah.
and
It was
everyone should play
on.
that game.
Yeah.
It was on offer, so I got it. So I was just like, yeah, why not?
We should co-op that on PC then, because it's a great PC game. It's like the Xbox
Mm.
game's fun. The PC version is just it looks better, it plays better.
I also recently bought Dark Souls and The Witcher 2 as well.
Do you not already
I
own The
know,
Witcher
Oh,
2?
you had The Witcher.
Oh no, I do,
Huh.
but I have the original like kind of physical copy of it, and
Oh, you got the extended
of-
version.
yeah, there's obviously an enhanced edition, and I mean the director's cut of the first game was so much better than the original of the first game that I figured obviously it's worth it, and it was only like £5. So
Yeah, that's what people were
I-
saying.
I-
Like The
I
Witcher
can't
2
really complain.
was
I mean,
the extended version for Witcher 2 is apparently a big improvement.
yeah, like they've changed God knows how much. I saw like a small part of the changelog, and they've changed like a lot of the actual physical game, like the animations and just how it looks. That
Do you
sort of
think
thing.
you'll play through that again? Because it's a
I
hell of a
think I
game.
will. It'll definitely. I think it's one of the things I'll kind of sit through on occasion. Maybe play an hour here and there.
I still need to play
But
Witcher 1 and Witcher 2, but I really look
I
forward to being able to sit down
I
and do that.
am. I'm looking more forward to Dark Souls. So I do want that game. I mean, obviously I know how frustrating it's going to be, but I think I'll have a lot of fun with it.
See, if I didn't know, like if I hadn't have seen you play Demon Souls already, I would have said that like Dark Souls is definitely not your game, but you seem to get on alright with Demon Souls. And it's
No,
not
I
nearly
love
as hard
Demon
as people
Souls.
make out to be, it's just unforgiving. And like when you
Yeah.
do screw up, it doesn't take any shit. It fucking punishes you, but if you're smart, then actually the game's
That's
from
the
what I
thing I
played of
enjoyed
it.
about Demon Souls. So I enjoyed, okay, I died on that, I won't die on that next time, and I didn't die on that next time, and it's just a case of going over it again and again. And
Yeah.
it's enjoyable enough to do that.
Sweet, cool.
I'm
Zach?
gonna be away for possibly the next couple of people because my dinner's ready. So I'm gonna grab.
All right, sure, no problem.
I'm hungry.
We can wait.
Okay.
Carry on though. Don't feel the need to wait for me.
Oh, I will.
All right
I
then.
will.
Zach, video games. Talk about them now before we all turn to dust.
Sausages!
I've been playing Sausages.
Oh yeah, what's that about?
Well, it follows the life of a pig.
He's playing
To-
with a sausage.
To becoming a sausage.
And as a
everything in between.
Muslim, how do you feel about this game?
Very anti-Muslim. It offends my people, and we will find retribution. But other than that, I've been playing Diablo 3 hardcore with Ali a lot because he had the week off. And since we've gone into great detail about Diablo 3 the last 2 weeks, I'll just go over like the differences I found in hardcore to softcore. I enjoy
calling it
I
softcore?
enjoy hardcore a lot more. Like everything you do feels like it matters a bit more. Just because like you've made it that one step further without dying, and like yeah, that aspect of it just makes everything seem a bit more like an achievement. Like if you every 10 levels you ding or something, you're like, well, that's another 10 levels. I didn't die. And then there's
So
also
explain to me how. Okay, so in hardcore mode, do you kind of treat each skirmish as like a boss fight? Do you kind of like get one of you to scout up ahead, see what's coming up, and then kind of like talk about how you're going to attack it, or is it more like playing normal Diablo, but like just kind of like popping all your cooldowns and stuff, and then like proper resting up before you move on to the next pack?
right now, me and Ali outgear the content, I guess. We can just kill everything really quickly, and but like whenever there's like a blue pack or a yellow pack, will call out so that we can focus it down. And I imagine Hell's when it starts getting difficult. So I mean, we're both playing ranged, so you're not going to stand near mobs anyway. And then if it's a yellow champion or elite pack, you're definitely not going to stand anywhere near them. And that's when you would like proper plan out how you're going to fight them, or even just run away and work out how you can fight them and then go back.
So what are you playing and what's Ali playing?
I'm playing Witch Doctor and Ali's playing Wizard, and together we are very extremely powerful.
So those
that
both
we're
like high
gearing up
DPS
properly as well.
classes.
Yeah, Witch Doctor I've read is like because of its skill set, like the best hardcore class because it's the most forgiving. Like you can, it's like its scale. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use. You can do like good damage with low end gear, whereas other classes they rely heavily on gear to get their damage out. Whereas like Witch Doctor, their abilities will help them to get their damage, and they've got a nice handful of abilities that like help them to just survive a oh shit moment. You know, they've got a good number of cooldowns. That
Plenty
help
of
them.
pets.
Yeah, plenty. Your pets will tank and aggro a lot of mobs for you, keeping them, at range. A couple mobs might get through here and there, but you have like 3 dogs and a giant monster, and they'll keep pretty much everything away from you, and then you just take them down. But yeah, I think because like in Inferno, the yellow and blue packs can be like harder than some of the boss fights, pretty much. Like they're more dangerous. Because with a boss fight, you know exactly what you're going to get, and you know like all the abilities to avoid. Whereas with a champion or elite pack, you got to work it out there and then because the affixes they have are random. So you got to work out your strategy as soon as you see them.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I think in Ali's video where he takes on a champion pack, and it's a really horrible combination of like they can teleport and they can run fast and they do damage and they heal over time or something. So that's
Yeah, you can
like
get some really
it
bad
sounds like
combos, and
if
then
you got
some.
a really bad combination, you would be actually kind of maybe boned. Like
Yeah, definitely. And like some mobs, they like like the normal mob variation of that mob already has like an ability. So for example, the one in Ali's video, the one that killed him, or yeah, killed him, um, without even being champion or elite, they can teleport. So, and that's actually an affix that can occur on other packs. So like really, you get the 4 affixes on them, and they can teleport. So they're extremely difficult. One thing that I find really good about the hardcore uh, section is the auction house, because the hardcore auction house and the softcore auction house are separate. So for one, the hardcore side doesn't have real money auction house, so the the gold economy doesn't get absolutely screwed over because of people putting money down. Because if you were to compare um, £10 to how long it would take you to like grind the equivalent gold, it's just nowhere near equivalent. So the real money auction house can really upset the like normal auction house. So they don't really interconnect well. Like if you play, you pretty much have to use the real money auction house, at least to buy gold.
but the hardcore is a little bit more normal in terms of like not everything is
Yeah,
super overpriced.
yeah, it's a bit more closer to like, well, you know that uh, these items have like all been earned kind of thing.
So like the item cost is kind of roughly around what you would have earned money-wise from playing up until that point. So if it's like a level 26 item, it'll probably be the item will be worth like 27 levels worth of gold collecting maybe, as opposed to um, double that because someone can just
Yeah,
buy all the gold.
it's kind of like it's wherever it's settled. I mean, well, basically, there's a key difference between the even the normal auction house of softcore and the auction house of hardcore, and that's if you consider the concept that like in hardcore, when your character dies, you lose that character, and you lose all the items equipped to that character and everything in the inventory, so you literally can't access anything on that character anymore. So if you have like top end gear on your character, you can't get that back. Um, so people are dying. Uh, there are people dying every day on it, so they need to like start new
Dude, that's deep.
characters. I know. Every time you blink, a hardcore character dies.
Oh shit! I gotta stop blinking.
Mate, I'm having a fucking fit here. I'm blinking so much.
You're killing all those hardcore people. And
Killing
also,
all
that was
of
a really
them.
quick dinner.
What? No, I've got my dinner in front of me. I got
Ooh, I'm gonna enjoy
Good
listening
lad.
to you eat that.
So
Oh, no, I'm gonna
if you
mute myself.
search for balloon deflate sound effect, I got Triple X Giant Loner Collection.
Wow.
137 gigabytes of what can only be thought as of porn.
It took me a long time to acquire all that.
Is it really that hard to find a balloon deflating sound effect?
You could buy a
yes.
balloon and then deflate it and record the sound.
Get DIY on that shit.
We could start our own Foley branch, and Ben could be in charge of the Foley work. Zach.
I will.
Yeah, let's get
I
away
didn't
from this
finish my
uncomfortable
point.
silence. Go on.
So with hardcore characters dying, it means like people like for every character that dies, a player will either quit or make a new character, and the people that are left over now are kind of your people that make new characters. So if you imagine like people are like constantly leveling and they don't have access to gear that they had on their previous character. So because everyone's like leveling all the time, it means there's high demand for low level gear. Whereas in the normal auction house, nothing is valuable except the very top end gear. Like nothing is valuable at all because no one needs that stuff because everyone's level 60 already. But in the hardcore auction house, everything from level 1 to 60 can have that. If it's good for that level, it has really high value because everyone wants it. And like for one, everyone wants to level up as fast as they can to get back to 60, and they also want to reduce the chance of them dying again by having good gear. So it means like when you're leveling up, everything that drops from the floor is worth looking at, whereas in softcore you would just vendor everything until you start grinding legendaries in an Inferno. It means that like you can actually like care about looting and stuff like that. I mean, by the time I reached level 30, I already had like 1,000,000 gold. And that's how much I have in my level 60 character on softcore. Just the only way to get gold on there is either to buy it or find the very top end gear.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
So yeah, it just makes the.
It actually sounds like hardcore is the way to
leveling
go.
up. Yeah, it's just the fundamentally the way it works. It's a lot more interesting, and like I said, everything feels like a bit more of an achievement. Right now, what I'm trying to do is my first goal is just to reach level 60, and then I'll be pretty happy. I might stop playing, I might not. It depends how much fun I'm having. Right now, I am having fun.
There you go, Diablo 3, fun. We are breaking new ground here.
If I get to another ARPG, I'll probably play it hardcore style, straight from the start.
Torchlight 2 doesn't have hardcore, does it?
I think it does, because Torchlight 1 does have it.
Okay, cool. But that's a game I'd play
that.
with everyone. Torchlight 2, yeah.
But yeah, that's
because I actually own that game, so
that's what I want to
own
start
that game.
playing. Actually, that's my next game.
that should be our next segment. What's your next game? Speaking
Ain't
of
never
next
got time for that.
I wanna
any,
play-
me play anything else?
No, I'm done. Let's move on to host.
Damn it.
Um,
Are we still on
someone's
that?
taking
Jesus.
pictures of me.
Sorry, I'm just about to tweet like my what I've done so far editing wise because I'm really proud of it. It's taken me fucking forever.
Oh man, I can't wait for that Twitter feed to come
I
through.
wouldn't
I'm
get
gonna
like
refresh
too
every
hyped
second.
up because
Refreshing
I
every
wouldn't get-
second.
I'm not going to upload it today.
My hopes are well high now. They're well high.
Fuck.
I wouldn't because it's me, so I'm not amazing at editing and everything. But
If this isn't the best
it's
thing in the
taking
world,
me
I'm just gonna kill myself.
forever.
The last time my hopes were this high, I was about to go watch Man of Steel. Guess how that turned out.
Oh, didn't you like it?
Disappointed is probably the word I'd use to describe it. I like no, not to describe the film, but to describe me after I'd seen the film.
I haven't watched it
Why?
yet, but I imagine anything that has that much hype can never live up to the
We-
hype.
We basically said it, Zach. We said that that film needs to be half as good as the trailers that were promoting it for it to live up to it. And unfortunately, trailers are specifically designed to hype you up. And thinking about it now, that's like an unrealistic goal because that trailer has been like it's like very core is to be, impressive, whereas the film isn't meant to be. I don't know. The film should be impressive, but it's got more going on. It has more. It's got to do more to be impressive because it's like a 2.5 hour film. But and anyway, this isn't the Oh My God Man of Steel cast. This is the
Yeah.
video game
What have you
thing.
been
So
playing,
what have I been playing?
Bollocks.
So I finished Tomb Raider as I said I would last week, and I think that game is a-okay. I think I in the past don't really like Tomb Raider games. Like I remember playing the PlayStation 1 ones and being really bummed out by the controls because they weren't like accurate. But this one, like, it feels a lot more modern, and it's it kind of gets weird with its like gameplay versus writing because the story is pretty good, right? In terms of like a video game story, it's there, and it does more than just justify the action. And in fact, it kind of goes against that because like Lara's meant to be this like kind of innocent woman being slowly turned into the adventurer that she's known to be. And as she's gunning down all these just like pretty much just survivors, they're not particularly nice men, but they were just they're in a shitty situation. They probably just made the best of it by going with the dude who had the biggest stick. And she's just kind of gunning them down and shooting them in the face and like saying "Run, you bastards!" As she just slaughters all these men. And then like, the story tries and tells this like kind of like very sympathetic story for Lara. But I thought it was I enjoyed playing it and I enjoyed the story, even though they were kind of at odds with each other. But that's like nothing new in terms of opinions. People have been saying that since it came out. I've also
I heard that in that game, Lara either figuratively or maybe even literally gets fucked during the game. Just bad.
they released a trailer where it was implied that the way like someone was kind of grabbing her, that she was about to be raped. However, it's okay because the guy wasn't because I died on that section actually because I failed a quick time event, and he isn't trying to rape you. He just wants to shoot you in the face. So that's all right.
Ah, but the trailer made it.
But yeah, no, at no point, unless maybe after the credits, there's like a sex scene between her and one of the survivors, which unfortunately I might have, if that exists, then I missed it, and that sucks. But yeah, no, she isn't actually. There's no actually sex. It's just kind of like implied. If you get through the quick time event, you wouldn't know the difference. Yeah, it's weird because like one of the developers, or like one of the marketers who came out when the game was hadn't come out yet, said that the player's going to want to feel like they want to protect Lara, which kind of got people up in an uproar because like, why does this woman need protecting, yada yada yada. And playing through the game, I kind of understand where he's coming from, but you don't want to protect him you don't want to protect her from like the bad things, the terrible things that are happening in the game, because as you go through, she becomes more powerful and much more able. You actually want to protect her from the designers because they're just putting her through so much shit, and it's like she just doesn't get a break. And then it's like in the last third of the game when she starts really coming to her own and kicking ass and kind of like taking the fight to the bad guys. So it was, the first 2/3 you were like, oh man, I feel really bad for her, because if I was in this situation, I'd be fucking dead. And then like in the last third, it kind of goes more video gamey, like offensive stuff.
Cool.
Also, what else? I played a bit of Iron Brigade. Does anyone know what that game is?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh,
It's like a really funny tower defense third-person shooter game by Double Fine, the guys who did like Costume Quest and Psychonauts. Basically, you're in like a mech, and you can like outfit your mech with different guns and different placements. You got to defend like it's a tower defense game, and it's funny, and yeah, it's all right. What else? I played a bit more
Kinda love
Borderlands
tower
2.
defense games.
And yeah, they're fun. They're kind of like podcast games, you know. Like, we've spoken about this before, but they're good games because they don't necessarily require too much thought, like constantly. I've also been playing The Last of
don't
Us.
Oh yeah, you have. That's the big one that I was thinking about.
Yeah. All right. So like, I know people in the kind of chat are gonna want to play this or experience it for themselves. So I won't hit on any beats. I'll just give my impressions of the game. So this is spoiler-free territory. But I will say that the game opens really well. It's in fact no, it's one of the best opening to a games I've ever played. And it really sets up kind of like what I wanted the game to be. It's terrible and awful and just like chilling. And it really sets the atmosphere for the rest of the game and like the kind of tone. And yeah, there's like a late title card that comes in at just the right second. And then
Yes.
afterwards, it's actually got a lot of parallels to Half-Life 2 in terms of its setting and like how it's kind of going. And as I'm making my way through, it kind of dawns on me that this game's like a stealth game, and it's got these stealth mechanics, and it's like the trial and error stuff. You try it, you die. You try it, you die. You try it, you die.
fuck, I'm gonna
Try
die.
it, you
I'm
get a
gonna
little
die.
bit closer.
Oh, I'm gonna
Exactly,
die.
pretty much that.
Oh, I died.
And yeah, it's I mean, it's partly my fault because I'm playing the game on hard right off the bat. But I wanted this because this isn't necessarily it's not meant to be easy, right? You know, you're like a survivor in this post-apocalyptic world, and these things of like the humans and the infected are like proper fucking dangerous. So I wanted it to kind of be like a genuine experience, and there's also a difficulty below or above hard, which is called Survivor, which is locked when you first play the game. But there are enemies that you got to stealth around, and if they detect you, it's a one-hit kill, and they take a hell of a lot of bullets, and the ammunition is pretty scarce in the game, and the resources and stuff, and like there are these enemies that they can't see you, but they can hear you, so you've got to be really quiet as you're moving around them, and they're a one-hit kill. And then there are other enemies that can see you, but they aren't a one-hit kill. And when they throw this combination of both of these at you, because as soon as one of them sees you, they all know where you are. It's like the typical video game AI. Where like they just seem to hone in on you. It's really frustrating when you're like creeping up behind one of these guys that's supposed to be able to see you, and then just as you're about to reach him, so you can like do a stealth kill on him, he just turns around because, well, I don't know, just a rat fucking farted behind you. He turns around, sees you, and then it's like pretty much you can either try and fight for your life and use up most of your ammo and resources to try and survive, or just die and start it again. And like there was a sequence where I was just like trying for, I'm not joking, like the 20th time, and I just all I could think was fuck this game. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. And also it has a problem with like, it does so well in grounding its characters. Its characters are fucking unbelievable, and its story is so well told, and the environment just looks so good in terms of just like the narrative that they're presenting as well as the graphics. But it like has the video game moments where like the people who you're escorting it's a girl named Ellie. Joel and
Named
Ellie.
Ellen Page, basically.
It's actually not played by Ellen Page, but it looks damn similar.
Really?
Yeah, no, Ellen Page is in Beyond Two Souls.
I was at a video game she's in.
Yeah, with
Oh, right.
Willem Dafoe. And yeah,
Oh, I
you're
saw a trailer
escorting
for
this
that.
girl across America, and it has these
Oh,
video
that must
game
be
things
fun.
where you're like crouching around, trying to be really careful and quiet around these monsters or whatever, and she's just running around, and they should be able to hear her and spot her. So it breaks the immersion there, which is a shame. And then there are the awful moments where she's running around and they do see her and they do hear her, and then because they see her, they see you and they kill you, and that's not your fault. That's just the game fucking up. So
Damn
it's
kids.
really good. The only problem is it's a video game and it just kind of suffers with those video game problems. If I keep having trouble with it, I'll probably have to put the difficulty down, which will really suck. Because I want to finish it, because I want to experience, like I said, like everything else, except for the playing of it, is fucking amazing. And maybe I'll get to a point in the game where I get a really awesome weapon and things that, you know, the the game will like not get easier, but just it'll be more practical to kind of go through it. But at the
So
moment,
it'd
I'm
be a
about
good
6
movie.
hours in, so I think about halfway through. You know what? It would be a good movie, but unfortunately, like there's already movies out there. This is just a really good version of those, like one of those movies, like Apocalypse. You know, 20 years after the apocalypse happened, like The Book of Eli and The Road. It's just a really good one of those. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a movie. It just needs to be a good video game, and it is nearly there. Just stealth sections, man. Like it's fucking 2013. Can't we get stealth sections right? Like, yeah, fuck it.
When you say it's got like a really strong opening, is that like, are you talking about like the opening? Is there an opening cinematic, or are you just talking about the actual game that occurs early on?
It's the game. You play it right, but you play it in a way that is memorable. Basically, it doesn't have a lot of time. Like the opening is maybe 15, 20 minutes long before you hit the first late screen title card, and in that time you manage to give a shit about like 3 very important characters to the story. And yeah. So I don't know what it does in fact I know what it does, but I can't say what it does. But it just does it really well. If if you're never going to get a PS3, then I would implore you to look it up on YouTube and just watch someone else play it without their commentary, because it is a really amazing opening to a video game. And if you are going to if you do want to play The Last of Us eventually, then I would say try and ignore as much as you can as possible. Get round to it as quickly as you can, but before someone spoils it for you. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing in terms of video games. I spent way too much
Unfortunately,
time watching video games than I did playing video games.
Unfortunately, I can't see myself buying a PS3 for a game at this point.
Well, you wouldn't be buying it for just a game because you'd have access to all the PS3 games, right? And if you get
Well,
PlayStation
if I
Plus,
could-
which carries
I
over
would
to the
get a-
PS4, you get free games.
If I
But
get a
I
PS4,
was under the
and
assumption
they
that
put that.
PS3 has no games.
I thought it was a toaster.
Welcome
I thought
to
it was
A really
2008,
bad toaster.
where our memes are current.
Legit.
They-
So,
Of games.
so what, Ben? If you're gonna play one game next week, what do you want to play?
Poor. Shit, I don't actually know.
Just to remind you, you did say earlier Torchlight 2.
Oh yeah, I'd like to play Torchlight 2 because I think I played like 2 hours of it and then just never went back to it. I don't know when it came out. I played it for 2 hours
A
on
while
release
ago.
and then just didn't play it again.
Everyone did that.
Sort of like
Yeah,
like Diablo 3.
we all kind of said
So
this game is really, really good, and I should play more of it, and then none of us did.
It's a good game.
It's
I mean,
it's
I've
a
been,
fucking great game. It's better than Diablo.
at work today, I was looking at the mods for it, and mate, half the stuff people do is insane. Someone's created like 16 new dungeons, 36 new monsters, more weapons, more armor. And it's just like, with a community like that, you just sort of, you need to play it.
Can you imagine if Diablo had that kind of access where you could just create your own hell portals to like a random dungeon in hell.
Just a new dungeon.
You could like write
Yeah,
your own
like-
quest dialogue and stuff.
I think for a game like that, like it's not it's not particularly complex to like set up what features you do need to make accessible to the players, like the creatives to like make their own level. Like you need to design a tile set, design, put in monsters, make up a quest where you go and do this thing. Torchlight does it. Torchlight 1 had like a big old modding community, which I guess is carried over to Torchlight 2.
Yeah, they
Like,
fucking
there's
broke
so
the
many
game,
mods.
didn't they? This is totally going to link into something I'm going to bring up later. So
It's one of those things where like with a modding community like that, the community ends up making more content than the original developers do, just because the
Exactly.
community is larger than a development team.
Like when this
Yeah.
guy made that massive mod, sales went up like so high. It was ridiculous, apparently.
oh, that's really cool. I hope he gets like some kind of credit or something, or at least the team do something to kind of recognise that. I'm not saying they give him any money because he didn't make the game.
No,
But like
maybe a
I don't
job
know,
or
just
something.
kind of like a thank you on the forums and like hey, like really like promote him as and maybe kind of promote some more work of his.
I
But
think
yeah,
it's
Torchlight 2.
promoting what he's created.
Ryan, I know you kind of stick to the games you like to play, but if maybe we try and make this a rule of a game that you want to play next week that you haven't played in the past week or so, is there anything that springs to mind?
Actually, I'm going to be getting my new computer, and should be middle of next week, not this week coming, but the week after.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to buying like a load of new games. So I was going to actually ask you guys, what games should I get? I mean, I haven't bought any games for quite a while. So
Well,
like Metro, or I think I want to play like Dead Space, maybe. I know it's been out ages now, but I haven't actually played that.
Please play Dead Space, because then me and Ali can have someone else in our fan club.
Yep, I definitely want to play Dead
So
Space. I did think about
so you
Lara
wanna play,
Croft, actually.
you need to get hands on Diablo 3 and StarCraft 2 and World of Warcraft, and there you go, trifecta.
I
And
love
Battlefield
editing.
3.
Matt, oh my god.
What?
I'm editing and I have a sound click. Like, as I like, Jesus, Charlotte, I get it, you're here.
You can look forward to Ben's video coming soon.
Matt, like, I was looking at the audio track because DX Tory records your voices as music and then records my voice as voice, right? So I was looking along the music track, looking for the spikes, so it'll make it easier for me to edit. And at the very end of a scene, I see it spike and then like slowly go out. So I click on it and it's Matt going, and it fits so well with the end of the video. Like you
That is the
have
sound of lovemaking.
You have no idea. It's
I
amazing.
find myself, I'm very good at making noises.
You've
Aww.
been doing it all
Matt,
your
I
life.
need you to
Perfect
make
woman.
some noises right now for me. What video games do you want to play next week that you haven't necessarily played for a week or two? Or ever.
Dark Souls, definitely. I would definitely want to play that.
Sweet.
I want to
checking,
finish.
that.
I want to finish Ballad of Gay Tony, and I wouldn't mind playing some Saints Row.
I'm gonna install Saints Row. Yeah, we're gonna do a fucking video series of us playing Saints Row, and I'm gonna be Bane or like the Joker maybe again, because that's who I am every time. But fuck yeah, let's do that. Zach, video game next week. I like this segment. I'm glad I thought of it.
More Diablo 3, but other than that, I would like to play Legend of Grimrock. But because it's so
sweet.
complicated, I find myself not wanting to play it at the same time as wanting to play it.
It's kind of like
no, I'm
that
gonna
Torchlight.
sit there for like
two
hours,
thing.
just getting frustrated at puzzles. Like, God damn it! Why can't
You're
I
just
work
finding
this
the
out?
the one clickable rock that you know in the dungeon.
It's not. I can deal with those. It's just genuine. Like some of the puzzles in there are well, like were too complicated for me.
It's like the I mean, when you first come across that one where you got to put the torches in the right holes, and then they've got to be lit, and like some have got to not be lit. Like that's when that game got. But
Yeah, there was
it's
one
like the
of
Torchlight 2 thing where it's like a really you're playing it. It's like this is a really fucking good game, and I cannot be bothered to play it.
and, you know, I did like I like the combat system in there as well, where you got a four-man team, you got two people in the front, two people in the back, and you actually only take up one grid. You have a spellcaster, and you have to like press the buttons in the correct order to make a spell. That's great.
I never got to a point where I had decent equipment for my guys, so it always felt like combat was a real sluggish chore.
That
And
sounds
you
super
have to
complicated.
you have to keep finding food to keep up your endurance, and like the heavier bag, like if you have a lot of inventory, your bags are heavier, so your endurance or stamina or whatever goes down. So you need to keep finding food to put that back up.
That's a fucking hardcore game.
And it sounds
It's also
like
really good.
it's kind of I think I remember like it kind of throughout the game you get some spots where like so you get meat off the relevant mobs, like giant snails or whatever, and
Oh yeah,
you'll
giant
find
snails.
it. You find like a big pack of them in a certain like stage of the game, and then you go and you get a lot of meat, but then you won't find any more of them for another 5 hours. And when you get the meat, you're kind of like, oh, I got plenty, I'm fine. And I literally thought that I was like, I don't need to worry about that food for a while. Probably get some soon, and then however long later, I'm like, oh, holy crap! Is that how long it's been since I got food? And then the game actually, you know, it's paced correctly because I found more food. But yeah, that's what I would
I
like
had
about
no
it.
idea that game was so deep in terms of. I don't think I knew about like the whole endurance and stamina and food thing. I might have done. It has been a while since I played it.
Yeah, you probably
Um,
did because it makes it quite obvious. What do you want to play next week, Will?
I'm gonna finish The Last of Us. Hopefully without breaking my PlayStation 3 controller, and maybe I'll start playing Ni no Kuni, The Wrath of the White Witch, because I got that super cheap on the internet. Not too
Play
sure,
that then.
and yeah,
Really?
I will.
I didn't think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
came out too long ago.
It didn't.
No, yeah, it came out relatively soon. I got it for 24.99, which is cheap for that
Oh,
game
no, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
everywhere else
Okay,
is like 50 quid.
I thought you were talking like, oh yeah, I got it for a fiver off Amazon or something.
Yeah, no, not that,
Like a
not
Steam
that cheap.
sale.
I wish. And the thing is, if I got it for a fiver, then I'd probably be less inclined to play it because like it's the value, like literally the value of it is decreased. But yeah, like yeah, exactly. Like you're. I mean, you buy an expensive game on Steam. I think you're more likely to put hours into it rather than if you buy a game for super cheap. There's chances are that you'll never install it. Um, yeah, but and
That's
also
directly
obviously I
relevant
really
to.
want to.
You carry on.
I'm gonna play Saints Row with Matt. Again, like I've played that game before, but that game can be played for eternity as far as I'm concerned. Plus, it'll get us ready for Saints Row 4, which directly leads us into our next conversation because Saints Row 4 was at E3, and now we're going to be talking about E3. My plan is
I
to
give
kind
it
of go
three
through
E's.
it. You give it that's the highest possible score you can get for E3. I'm going to go through it in chronological order as to what happened. Feel free to just kind of shout out and bring up a point when something comes up. So we
Bingo.
started off with the Microsoft conference. How did that go for people, do you think?
They started out with Xbox 360 stuff, didn't they?
Yes. So they opened with Metal Gear Solid 5, gameplay from Metal Gear Solid 5, and
They
it looks.
showed the cut trailer, however. The uncut
Yeah,
trailer was awesome.
I haven't seen the uncut trailer. Basically, I hear there's a lot more bondage, maybe.
There is more boobs.
Okay.
Cool, cool.
I tell you what, when you get the picture of the image of the sniper in the bikini, I thought, wow, yeah, next gen, I'm on board because she looks
Yeah.
impressive, purely from a
She
male
had
standpoint.
very good assets.
Yeah, her sniper was awesome.
Yes, yes.
I bet she got good sniping skills.
There's probably a better pun in there. So yeah, we opened up with the Xbox.
Shoot me in the dick.
The Metal Gear Solid 5 and Hideo Kojima came out on stage with Don Matrick. And
Mate, I couldn't stop laughing at that.
So many foreign people.
Hideo Kojima, mate.
you would have thought that maybe the video game industry is a worldwide industry and not just English speaking. So yeah, they went on to they show off the new Xbox 360 console, which looks a lot similar to the Xbox One thing. Did anyone really take a closer look at that? And any impressions?
I haven't looked. I can't even remember what's different about it. The
It
design,
looks
definitely.
exactly like the
They-
Xbox One, pretty much.
Yeah, they're going for the same design, haven't they? But
It's the offline console.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Yeah.
an unfortunate quote
That
from
was a funny article.
from Don. I shouldn't have said that.
that was a fun.
It was funny.
Why? So, I can't even think of anything. What is the purpose of bringing out a new Xbox 360 design?
Because it'll be cheaper than the Xbox One, and they can probably still sell a few more. I don't know. I'm not
But
a video game
do they need a
industry
new design?
analyst.
At this point,
I don't know. Like if it doesn't cost them any more money to produce the Xbox 360, then
Yeah, if they
why not?
can, then yeah, exactly.
It kind of promotes that kind of brand synergy. Like especially if like with their user interface for the Windows 8 stuff, it looks kind of similar to what Microsoft's doing with the Xbox One. Maybe they'll release. I haven't been on Xbox in ages, so I'm not sure if they've changed the home screen stuff for that. The menu stuff. So maybe they'll make that operating system more in line with Windows 8 to kind of like get across that Microsoft is this one big happy family, as opposed to being individual products. Because that's something that everyone seems to be going for, is like the tablet integration into video games. They also announced that you can get 2 free games a month for Gold members. And they put up on screen 2 games that 2 really good games actually. You'd be lucky to get hold of them if you didn't play them like 4 fucking years ago.
Yeah,
The games were Halo 3 and Assassin's Creed 2.
That was pathetic.
and they were pretty epic for their time.
You know what? Assassin's Creed 2 is fantastic, and Halo 3 was a system seller. However, like since then, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood came out, and that is a superior version of it's essentially Assassin's Creed 2 semicolon better. And Halo 3
Also, the rest one.
like I'm guessing the multiplayer's like still played, but yeah, like considering what PlayStation Plus members get, like free games in terms of like what free games they get each month, like that Assassin's Creed 2 and Halo 3's like laughable. It's like trying to appease to someone, but just not. Clearly, Microsoft aren't committing enough to that kind of charity, and
Yeah.
we can see that, and it's just kind of insulting.
They're obviously trying to like get in on something that Sony is currently doing. They're not, but they're not willing to actually put the money into it. Really, they're like,
Yeah.
well, we don't want to make.
Yeah, but
If
it's
we can
a
make money off this
business.
game, we're not going to make it free.
Everyone just keeps
You imagine-
thinking like, oh, it's a console, it's a console, it's a console. It's a business.
Yeah. But like imagine how much like what it would have been so much better good faith if they had offered Halo 4 and Assassin's Creed 3 as free games.
Like, all I'm gonna say about this is what I said to Mark last night while he was bitching and crying and whining and throwing a tantrum in the front seat. PS4 is gonna make a loss on everything it sells, or the consoles that it sells because of the GDDR5, I think it's called. Is that right?
Yeah.
Which to me, like a business move, would be then to bump up the price on everything else. Thus why there's speculation that they're charging for online. Which, Ryan, what was it? Like a $10 a month?
Yeah, that's what I heard anyway.
It's less than $5 a month.
Oh, is it? Okay.
See?
Yeah, for
Told you.
PlayStation Plus. And honestly, the PlayStation Plus is already such a fantastic service. Rolling multiplayer into that, it shouldn't. If anyone who is currently on the PlayStation Plus service, who are the people who are going to be the early adopters for the PlayStation 4, They do not give a shit if like multiplayer is bar behind, like that kind of thing. And even then, they've already announced that DC Universe Online, Warframe, and PlanetSide 2 won't be. You can still play online, free-to-play games. You can still play online even if you're not a PlayStation Plus member.
But I mean,
So I don't think it's necessarily a big deal. And where did you hear that Sony were going to be taking a loss on each console? Because I was under the impression they'd be making about $60 worth of
because of the
profit on each console sold.
GDDR5 that's in it.
Sure. I'm not entirely
they're
sure if that
making
would
it
like
themselves.
cause them to. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I haven't done enough research on it. I wasn't
don't
under the
think it would be
impression
that much
Sony
more
would be losing
expensive.
money on each. You know what? I would be surprised if they even like, because they have $100 lead on Microsoft. They could have easily pushed that price up to $50 if they were losing money on the console. I think that's probably the bare minimum they can sell the console at while still making profit. Or maybe doing a Nintendo and losing money on each console, but making that money is made up for every game sold.
I don't think consoles are meant to be the money makers. They're meant to be the tool that you sell to your customers to enable them to give you more money.
Someone should tell Microsoft that.
We sell you your PS4. We made a loss on it, but now you're going to buy games for the next 10 years, and we'll make money off of those.
Can I just say though, the one thing that really annoys me about this whole thing is how PlayStation fans are now ragging on us for the price, right? Where the PS3 was more expensive than what the Xbox One is now.
Yeah, that was a mistake from Sony. That was a huge fucking mistake.
And charging for online. Now they're getting charged for online, but they were ragging on us for that.
When you say us, are you kind of saying that you're an Xbox fanboy?
I'm saying it because I've got the console that I play more is the Xbox. I'm not an
Sure.
Xbox fanboy, otherwise I wouldn't have bought the PS3 and I wouldn't have bought games for it.
That's a fair point.
I'm gonna get both eventually because of the whole like exclusives thing, which is really annoying. But because I want to play Rise on the Xbox and then I want to play what's it called? There's a game on the PS4 that I wanted to play that I can't remember.
We'll go through
Is that
exclusives
good?
later, and then you'll remember it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Speaking of
but, like,
exclusives, though.
The thing, like, fanboyism, I think, kind of our age and the fact that we all do whatever extent of paid work, if we want to, all of us can get both consoles eventually. It's not a problem. But I think fanboyism really lies in your kind of teenagers where I know in my situation is like I'm pretty lucky to get one console. So that if I get that console, that is my console, and fuck the other one.
Yeah, and it's the idea that no one wants to make because if someone gives you two options, then your natural instinct is to think that one is right and one is wrong. Not that both are equal, but and the one that you go for has to be the right one, and you'll blindly defend
and
that.
you have to defend it.
For me, it's easy just to kind of ignore it and kind of see both sides with merits. Like if PlayStation fans are ragging on the Microsoft fans, then who fucking cares? Because we can all see that both consoles are probably going to be amazing. You know, let's not forget that both this is the new generation. You imagine how far we've come in the last 7 years with video games, and then technology only escalates even quicker. Where are we going to be in 7 years' time thanks to these consoles? So it's really just who fucking cares what they think. This is exciting, and anyone who's getting too worked up and annoyed over whether it's Mark throwing a hissy fit in the front of your car or an angry 14-year-old, those people are the people who I do not want to associate with. The people I want to associate with are people looking at this thing going, "Fuck yeah, let's do this."
And you
Mark did cry about
can't
it for,
choose a
an
clear
hour.
winner because they each go for ticking different boxes, and I personally find it really interesting to see what differences there are. But Xbox will have these certain things, and PlayStation have these certain things, and they're both good in their own merit.
And they're kind of declaring a winner at this point anyway is ridiculous because if you're looking at a real war, no one knew who was going to win World War II, unlike September in 1939 when it was announced. Like it was just like the initial. This is like the first thing of a long, if you want to call it a war. Um, and the idea that like just because Microsoft kind of, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Microsoft did stumble with their messaging, and Sony totally took advantage of that in their press conference, and they really played it up. And good on them for taking the opportunity because, this is a business, they got to make money, and they want to see that people buying their console and not the other guy's console. So of course they're going to
Yeah.
take advantage of that.
They'll
But
do whatever they can to put their competitor down.
But yeah, this is definitely far from over, and in fact, this is like, I hate to sound cliche, but this really is literally the beginning, and it's anyone who's too busy getting worked up is an idiot because it's exciting. Speaking of
I'm just
excitement, World of Tanks, the MMO is coming exclusively to the Xbox 360. Everyone get on the hype train. World of Tanks. Anyone got anything to say about that?
Two shits.
I say we move on.
It doesn't even look like tanks.
So,
graphically.
yeah, it's a MMO that was on the PC. Apparently, it's pretty popular in Europe, and it's coming
It's very
exclusively to
popular in
Xbox
Russia.
360.
Russia
A free-to-play
fucking
game.
loves tanks.
Which is, I mean, it's pretty cool for not a PlayStation, Microsoft game to be getting a free-to-play game. That's, I think, a first. Also, Max Curse of the Brotherhood. I don't actually know I can't even remember that game. Apparently, that was announced, and Dark Souls 2 was shown off. So people love Dark Souls, so I'm pretty sure people will be
Dark
excited
Souls
about
2 looked like Dark Souls.
that. Yeah.
I remember that's what we said about it when it came up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Then following that, we got into the Xbox One stuff. Ben, you already mentioned this. Rise, Son of Rome was the first demo shown on the Xbox One. So Ben, what did you
I
think of
really
that?
like it. I really like the look of it. Like really, really. Admittedly, Matt said in the car yesterday, it's just a case of hitting buttons and quick time events. But I still like the
Isn't
idea.
that every video game ever?
Well, like the quick time events
know
and the
what I
button
mean.
matching put together. So, but I really like, because I don't think there's been one where you are a Roman general. Is it Roman?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Son of Rome.
Yeah, he's a Roman general, and I don't think there's been a game like that. Like sort of Assassin's Creed style, I guess, but with button mashing as well.
My
button
understanding
sequencing.
from the previews that I got is that the combat is very similar to the Batman Arkham City combat. The button prompts are just that you can hit any button you want. That's just the button that will get you the flashy animation kill. But like, if the Y comes up and you hit X, you're just going to do a basic attack and hit him. And so it's a combination of that, like Batman Arkham City combat meeting with some kind of like, like a war game, like Call of Duty or something. Like that opening sequence is very much reminiscent of the D-Day stuff from World War II games. So if that combat holds up and it's fun and varied like the Arkham City stuff, then that game, could be totally cool. The setting's awesome. Anyone else
just
got
like the
anything they want to
idea.
say on that?
In that case, like those prompts, I think are pretty cool. Then, 'cause a quick time event kind of implies like if you don't hit the button, you fail. Whereas this is kind of like it's just to get the best out of it or whatever.
It's rewarding. Yeah, you imagine like it could be if they remove the prompts, and then every now and then when you hit the right button, you're like, oh, that's awesome! I got a cool animation kill, but I don't know why I did that. Whereas that like putting the prompts there, like gives you the opportunity to kind of get that exhilarating rush of like stabbing like someone in the
Yeah.
throat.
It definitely adds an element to combat as well. And it's always good to add, flavour the combat a bit.
Plus the dual kills, like the dual ones, are really cool.
Yeah, that's actually something that like I think would be really cool in like a Batman game where if you've got like if you counter two guys that you can actually like if you do a button combination you can take both of them out. Like having those button prompts above like 3 enemies and you're like, oh, so if I hit these buttons then I'm going to be able to take all 3 of these guys out because I've managed to stagger them. That's really cool.
Watching that, I think I noticed that where you attack with your blade on the enemy, the blood animation is still, it doesn't follow where your weapon hit. It's just kind of like, it just, it's a generic animation.
Yeah, we're
anyone
just
else
we're
see that?
still a work in progress. So what you're seeing here isn't going to be the final product, or you can ensure that
Yeah,
Rise
I'm
Son
just
of
really
Rome plans to deliver
really hoping.
an exhilarating experience to the player audience on Xbox One exclusively.
I'm really hoping that like we've reached the point where like gore can occur where your weapon is hit. Not
Can I
just
just
like,
say, right?
oh, you hit me in the foot, I'm gonna bleed out my shoulder.
Hey man, that's a pretty common problem.
Man, video games.
When like they're saying now with the Xbox One, the technology has given us the power to do this. What is this? Like, it just looks better graphics to me.
There's a lot more going on screen. You know, the animations are much more fluid. Like if there's one thing we can all probably agree from this E3 is that fuck me, animations look amazing now because they have the room to kind of have that graphical fidelity, and they can have the animations rather than having to cut frames out. You know, like I remember speaking to one of the guys at Rocksteady about back when we went to see Batman Arkham Asylum, and how he was explaining how the animation is shit in Gears of War because when you're on the wall, when you go to from just standing to just straight into like cover on the wall, there isn't an animation between that. It just you like teleport to the wall, and so like this new generation because there's more RAM, it's more powerful. We're able to just kind of get more of everything we've already had. So I'm not necessarily sure if like these first wave of games are gonna like be innovative in design because that takes time. But like the immediate kind of things we're going to see are like better graphics, better animations, hopefully like kind of like better voice work and like music and stuff. Just because you can actually get that like running on the system.
Also, like speaking on Ben's point, saying like when they say with this new technology we can do this, and what is this? I think like to like most consumers, what next gen means is better graphics, but to developers, next gen means something completely different. They just have so much more room to do loads of things they couldn't do before, whatever that might be, that enhances the game. But what most people are going to notice is that, oh, I got better graphics.
Yeah, they're
And
not
that's
going to
a
be able to
combination
see.
of whatever the developers have been able to do.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to see the designer who's like been given this like kind of blank canvas and told like, okay, if you had these tools, what would you do? Because before in the previous generation, they've like known their limits with what they can do, right? Whereas now, like this is a new piece of hardware, it's like they don't know what they don't know what the limits are, so they can push it, and that's what like what could previously
Unless
couldn't
they've
be
been
done.
the relevant PC games, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. I think even PC games, except for the PC exclusives, they've kind of been limited by the consoles because they've got to try and like keep it even.
Yeah. Okay.
I think also
After,
like comparing developing on. I obviously know nothing about development, but comparing developing on PC and console, it's kind of like with PC. Okay, I'm gonna make an analogy, and it might not be great. But with PC, like you get to develop, and there's obviously a limit, but like it's kind of like the sky is the limit. And my bad analogy is like developing for PC is kind of like solving a puzzle where like you've got an infinite number of jigsaw pieces, but solving for console is like you get these set number of pieces, and you got to do what you can with those pieces, so you can actually like focus a lot more.
I
I
think
don't know.
people who make games for PC, they've still got like they know what the limits are of the current technology out there. They can't be making games that can only run on the latest NVIDIA graphics card because not everyone has that phone. Um, but yeah, like with PC, there's definitely a lot more room because maybe there's more peripherals. There's like more ways you can interact with it, especially with like keyboard and mouse. Yeah. I'll move on if you want me to. I'll take that as a yes.
I don't mind.
Killer Instinct was announced. New Killer Instinct game. Anyone give a shit about that?
Zero fucks were
What
given.
was it, sorry?
No.
Killer Instinct, new fighting game. Not being
No.
developed by Rare. Okay.
I think it's cool. It's a fighting game. Killer Instinct's old. I played it.
It's free to play.
This will be free to play.
Yeah, basically it's free to play. You get one character. If you want more characters, you buy them.
Oh, I don't like that.
However, I think
For
you get
me,
to
all
choose your
fighting
own
games
character.
are very similar, and
No,
it doesn't
yeah,
really
I
interest me.
I agree with Ryan. I think most fighting games, unless it's a specific genre I like, take for instance, sort of superheroes or whatever, unless it's got that kind of specific thing to it, they all do feel very, very samey and very similar. So it's not really that much to look forward to.
I mean, you could just buy like the very first Tekken, and it, you know, at the end of the day,
Mortal
it's
Kombat 1.
very similar, isn't it, to what you get now?
I think Mortal Kombat Trilogy is the correct answer to the video game, or Mortal Kombat 9.
It will have graphical advantages over other fighting games, but
Next
that's
on
it.
Microsoft's list was Insomniac Games, who had made the Resistance series and the Ratchet and Clank series. I really like Resistance 3. Never played the Ratchet and Clank games. They announced an exclusive game for the Xbox One called Sunset Overdrive. They didn't show any gameplay, just a really CG trailer, and basically it's an open world shooter that looks like The Incredibles, which is kind of what Overstrike looked like until they made it fuse and it looks boring. So expect for that game to be redesigned in 6 months. Anyone else got anything they want to add to that?
That trailer was very animated.
Yeah. Then
I
it looks
suppose the game
cool.
will be too.
If that was a video game, that would be cool. But given Insomniac Games' super recent track record with changing the style for the worse, then that's something I'm kind of cautious about. Then they talked about Forza Motorsport 5, which is apparently I say that wrong. Forza, like Forza.
Forza.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's Forza.
Fuck you guys. And the amazing Drivatar system. I don't think
Oh my
Dan
god.
Greenwald could say Drivatar any more times in his short time up on the stage. Drivatar, guys.
Just, I think this.
It's tell you what, it's a super cool feature, but
No, it's not.
go
It's dumb as all fuck.
I don't know, because you're
This
kind of
was,
like it's learning from
Hey
you,
guys,
and then
do you want to play
Skynet.
video games? Well, too bad. They're gonna play video games for you while you're out.
It would be really lame if you kind of got home and you saw that like your Drivatar had finished last in all its races, and you're like, oh man, I suck. I suck even when I'm not here.
I think this is the first game where they mentioned it. But how many different people for different games said we're trying to blur the lines between single player, multiplayer, and there's a third choice, AI?
Co-op.
I don't know, but a lot of people said that.
Yeah, that seemed to be the theme. Like, I think because of Watch Dogs last year, where it did the camera pull out of like the city, it's like you thought you were playing single player. Oh no, it was multiplayer all along. And I think because that was such a surprise from last year, and everyone seemed to really kind of dig it. This year, the main focus was we should probably make our games single player / multiplayer, and Ubisoft I think did that with pretty much all their games, right? Even Just Dance 4,
Pretty much.
4, which is I think was pretty impressive that they managed to squeeze that in. After Forza 5 was announced, actually, I'll tell you what, that was a really nice car that they brought out on stage. A McLaren, I believe.
Yeah, cars, cool.
After that, they announced. I tell you what, this was super surprising. The exclusive to Xbox One. I'm not sure if you heard about it. It's a little game called Minecraft, Xbox One edition. I remember saying when I was playing that like Minecraft does not make good trailers.
No.
I am subscribed to the people that made that trailer. Mojang wanted to do something big, but Microsoft said no. It has to be little and simple.
Oh, for like
Minecraft.
to represent the indies,
Yeah.
because the indies are little and simple. GG.
Yeah, amen.
Microsoft.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Clever.
After Minecraft, unless people want to talk about Minecraft extensively.
No.
Well, I just think it seems
no.
strange to me because they're not going to have any features that. Oh, maybe they will have features that PC won't have.
Maybe
I don't know.
they'll announce it that it comes built in with a high-res texture pack. That's the only thing that like that's what it should have, right? It's next generation Minecraft. It should look like fucking amazing.
Yeah, but you can do that on PC anyway.
Yeah.
Minecraft on Xbox never really computed with me.
Oh well, you were the only one because that thing sold a shit ton. Like
It
literally
did.
like millions of
But that's
copies
'cause-
sold. So
That's because of Minecraft.
yeah,
Yeah, it didn't.
yeah.
It had already sold a shitload.
Um, After that, they showed Quantum Break. Now, I'm not sure if you guys remember Quantum Break. It's where the guy walks in and it's like there's a mid explosion. He pulls the woman out from the explosion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently that's all in game. No shit.
No way.
Nah,
That looked
I've got bollocks
amazing.
on that.
Yeah. That's the. I mean, the thing is though,
That-
Remedy. Like they were the guys who, Max Payne face, the animation in Alan Wake and stuff. They are focused on making that thing look as good as possible. So yeah, that was all in game apparently. It was a cutscene still, but that was
Yeah, it's definitely
in engine.
Yeah.
So that looks super impressive, and I think Remedy make good games. In fact, I think they
I
make great
think
games. So
that type of gameplay would be cool as well. I'm just imagining like you enter a room, an event's happening. Okay, I guess you don't control time. It's just unstable. But I guess if you enter a room
yeah,
and there's an event happening, the game wants time to stop. If you enter a room, something's happening, time stops. You gotta work out what you need to do, and then time carries on, and you gotta be in a position where you're all right for time to carry on, kind of thing. It'd be like you could add weird stealth time elements to it.
yeah. Apparently that game plays like a third-person shooter, third-person action game. One of the things that I thought was intriguing was that that the game is being released like season one. So you play the game right, and then depending on what you choose in the game affects the episodes that they filmed. So essentially, what it is, it's like full-length FMV cutscenes of an episode. So you play. I imagine what it might be like is you play for an hour, then you watch an hour-long episode. You play for another hour-long episode, and then depending on what you did in the game, depends on what kind of episode you get. Which I mean, I think that sounds really cool. It's just a case of whether they pull it off well, and as long as the episodes, like if they're, I'm not expecting like House of Cards level good, but like as long as they're not straight to DVD or Sci-Fi Channel shit, then that'll be fine.
But either it won't be good, or it will take too long to make that much quality content. Because
Apparently they've already made it.
You make a lot of content that a lot of people won't see because they don't make the choices to see the other content.
Yeah, the replay ability.
Yeah, I guess that would kind of inspire to replay the game. But yeah, apparently that's already been filmed, and that the game is just kind of like it's been in development for a long time. So
That inspired me to go on YouTube.
yeah, well, whatever. As long as the game kind of gets noticed. After that, they showed D4, which is you guys won't care, but like the guy who made Deadly Premonition, and Deadly Premonition is like a cult classic.
It's
After that, Project
Don't know what
Spark.
E4 is.
That's the Project Spark was the Kinect game where you could build your own game within the game.
Oh yeah,
You guys remember that?
I do remember
That
that.
seemed cool.
Doesn't appeal to me.
Oh,
Mum and Dad
Seems
on holiday,
interesting.
and Dad's pissed drunk at 9:30.
Good for him.
My mum phone was like, "Is
I
Dad
wish I could
there?
be pissed drunk.
It's Father's Day. I'd like to say, hello." And Mum just goes, "He's out cold on the bed." Awesome.
Sounds like a good holiday to me.
At least you can say
Yeah.
you tried. So when he comes home and beats you, you can be like, "No, I did try and call you."
Yeah, you were just drunk.
After they showed off Project Spark, unless Ben, you want to talk about Project Spark at all? I think it looks cool, but I don't think I'll
I have
be
no idea what that is.
playing it.
Where like you
it's-
craft the level yourself, and
Ah, is that the one on the Xbox?
Yeah, Ben, we're talking about Xbox.
And then you like script your own stuff as well.
oh fuck, wrong button.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and you
will
can
be
use stuff
getting
that
that
other people
purely
have
for the
made.
creative process.
Yeah.
The creative.
Sweet.
Because
Yeah, I read
stuff
that.
that other people have made as well. So
It's
that's
like
pretty
a mix of like Minecraft and Little Big Planet, which both those games are really popular. So that sounds like a winner. Afterwards, they announced they showed off that the Xbox One can upload straight to Twitch, which seems cool. like kind of like competing with Sony's upload straight to Ustream, and you can like stream on Ustream. Um, Maybe as people who create video content, we'd use that. Would be pretty cool to like go in and watch Ben's stream of him playing, Call of Duty Ghosts or whatever. If I can't bother to play myself, but we've already talked about that on the PlayStation 4 side. And then they showed off Dead Rising 3.
Oh,
That looks
that
good.
looked sick.
That looked sick up until the airstrike.
Didn't like the airstrike, or is it just too framey?
No, I just kind of something sort of a theme that was going on with E3 was that they're making games like they seem to just be making them easy and gimmicky. With shit like that.
What, like the tablet integration? Like, oh, now your girlfriend can play and call in an airstrike for you. Yeah. Doesn't apply
It's
to
just
anyone's
like,
game.
I,
I
Because
don't,
we're all forever
I don't
alone.
see the point in it.
I literally gave zero shits about any tablet integration at E3. I think I'm in the
There
minority
was
of
some
people
cool
that
stuff.
don't own a tablet.
It's good. It's a
Like-
nice direction to go, but
They see it.
There are
I'm just
niche
worried it would
moments
take
where it would
away
be cool.
from. Yeah, I'm just worried it would take away from the game. That they'll concentrate too much on doing shit like that
Yeah,
instead of actually making
as-
a decent game.
As long as there's another way for me to call in that airstrike without having to like grab my phone and like load up the app and do it myself, like, or like call someone to do it for me, I'll be like, Matt, can you just go onto the Dead Rising 3 app so I can so you can call an airstrike in for me. As long as there's another way to do it, like whatever, it's just kind of like an additional kind of cool thing. But if that's
Yeah.
like feature locks behind that like app, then that seems like a pretty powerful thing to kind of like keep away from the player. Who's already spent all this money on the Xbox One and on the game as well, and like there's like parts of the game that you can't do because you're a loner because you play video games, as is the stereotype.
You might
Also-
run out of battery in your tablet.
Also,
It's just
like,
like-
apparently they're keeping the comedy tone of Dead Rising games.
I was
But
gonna say,
like they're going for that very serious Walking Dead look to like further emphasize the comedy, so that like everything looks kind of dark and gritty. So then when you wear like a woman's dress, it's even funnier, and like hitting a zombie with a purse is funnier because you like everything looks so fucking awful.
I mean,
Which
what I,
I
will
really
say
like
is
makes
they-
sense.
I reckon they were making it and then realised how serious it was getting, and just needed to put in something to sort of make it look ridiculous. Not as ridiculous as running out of ammo and a gun, running into a bowling store, and just hurling bowling balls out at zombies. But sort of like that same sort of thing where, oh, I am surrounded by zombies. We'll call it an airstrike. Like, wait, what? Oh, it's okay, I've got a buddy. You know, he flies a
For
barrier.
for
know
me, the best part about Dead Rising was that moment where you run out of ammo, you go oh shit, and then you run into like the gym and just start throwing dumbbells at zombies. That is Dead Rising.
Yeah.
So as long as
what
that's
I'm worried
there,
that it's going to be taken away.
I don't know. I think it's still going to be there. It's just the zombies aren't going to be as colourful. I think it's kind of
Because,
disappointing that the environments didn't look as colourful. Like one of the cool
Yeah.
things about the game settings were that like especially the second game, it was all like really shiny and neon because it was set in like a casino. But I don't know. We haven't seen the entire game. That stuff could still be there. They just
Yeah.
wanted to show something off that would appeal to a wider range of like gamers who like Call of Duty and that kind of like look.
I really like the sheer number of zombies. I'm watching again now. There's the
My
sheer number of them.
God, there's a
Yeah.
lot of zombies on that screen.
When he goes,
Like,
fuck,
holy crap.
and then throws the wrench, that was the best part.
Absolutely.
He's like,
I just love when
Everywhere.
he busts down the
That did
fence and then it's just like a fuckload of them more behind the fence. It's just like, oh, okay then.
I regret my
Yeah, and then he gets
decision.
on top of the building, and there's just like okay, seriously, that looks like where like next gen horror could live, where you are literally
Yeah.
seeing how fucked you are because there's no more limitations on the hardware. You can see for miles and miles, and you are fucked.
No loading screens.
That sounds awesome because Dead Rising loading screens
That's what they said.
suck.
I liked when he got in his car, like the zombies actually like clinged on to the car, quite in detail, like they were swinging and everything. That's quite
I'm not sure how like designed that E3 demo was, but it seemed like the car seemed to like move with the environment and go through stuff and like interact with the environment pretty well. Like when he goes through like the corner shop and he takes all the glass out, that looks really good. And then when he goes on the ramp and like fucks up the ramp and lands on the hood on the roof of the car, again it looked like the physics of the driving looked pretty accurate for like what was happening. Except for driving through all the human bodies, that would obviously slow you down.
It slows him down though.
Yeah, I don't think because he drives through a lot of human bodies. I think that would kind of. I mean, I don't know. I've never driven through that many people, so maybe that would be fine.
I mean, you can see it slows him down a significant amount, but the fact that he barrel rolls, lands sideways, and then gets out and just walks off, so like okay.
Yeah, so that's
This
still
is
kind of
America.
goofiness.
He can bind a sledgehammer with a chainsaw or whatever it is.
And then that's
Dude,
actually a
take-
great moment in the demo where he throws it and it cuts
Yeah.
the zombie in half.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
everyone
God.
lost their shit at that.
That's amazing.
Afterwards they showed The Witcher 3. Matt as our resident Witcher.
I
Yeah.
was excited.
Yeah. Also coming to
Witcher
PC
is
and
good.
PS4, so.
As far as
And
I'm
then
concerned, that game can only
they
get better.
showed the Battlefield 4 single player demo.
They tried to show it.
Yeah, unfortunately, technical issues
Oh.
aside.
Burn.
I felt bad for that guy. He's just standing there like, what do I do? What do I do?
I think he handled it really well.
Really? He didn't do anything.
It was
Yeah.
kind of jostling with the crowd.
I was watching someone with Simon Honeydew, and he was like,
Pardon?
they're all going, "Don't just stand there, say something." No, don't. He's walked off. He walked off. Bad move. Bad move. So, you fine.
Apart from that, what do we think of Battlefield 4 single player? If you can remember it, I remember, like for me in my head, it's the jets falling as the planes, as the boat starts to sink. The jets realistically
Yeah,
rolling
they fall
off,
sideways.
and just the way they kind of
That's
splinter
obviously-
apart.
That's
Is
very
there more?
obviously like designed
I might
for
not have
the
seen it.
trailer.
Yeah, they start off in like the boat, and then they go onto the on the air carrier thing, and then they go in a boat.
I haven't seen it. Okay.
I
It's
like-
pretty good.
I like the single player squad thing. That's That's
It
cool.
looked like you could command them around.
I like Commando. What's it called? Command. something. In multiplayer.
Command mode?
Commander.
Is it command mode?
Yeah, something like that.
You
Where,
just call the
like,
commander.
you've just got like a big map, and you're like, it's getting more realistic, isn't it? So Battlefield 3 was like, oh, we'll put physics in, we'll put vehicles in, then we'll put physics on bullet drop and shit like that, and we'll make it as realistic as we can. And now, if you want to call an airstrike in, someone's gonna have to do that for you. Like, you're gonna have to say to them, hey, I need an airstrike here, and then they're gonna say like, oh no, but an airstrike
What
is
if one
needed over
team-
here, more priority.
What if one team doesn't have anyone that's using a tablet?
No, it don't work
Doesn't
like
have
that.
to be tablet.
There are obviously in commander mode you can't just use the things. It's like the AC-130 conquest points in Battlefield 3. You have to have control of certain points to be able to use certain commander mode things. Like you need to have A to be able to use UAV. You need to be able to have C to use like a gunship or
Alright.
a missile strike.
And also you don't need a tablet to be able to use it.
No.
That's just another. It's another gimmicky thing.
But why would someone then use a tablet instead when they've already got
Maybe they feel
access
like
to
just
whatever
sitting on
they
their
need?
couch and not having to squint at the TV.
Yeah, I guess so. If I was in that situation, I can't imagine like putting my controller down and picking the tablet up to do a thing,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I would like, all I have to do is press start menu, then press a couple buttons, and I do the same thing. I would go, okay, I'll keep on holding my controller.
I don't really think it's something that will affect us though, considering we're obviously going to be getting it on PC.
Yeah,
We'll
and
see.
PC has the correct interface to be able to do that anyway.
Yeah.
You guys sure you don't want to buy a PS4 and play Battlefield 4 with me?
I'm gonna
I'm
buy
buying
it on
it.
PC.
Anything I can get on PC, I'm getting on PC.
Yeah.
Already
I wanna
decided
get
that.
it
Speaking
on.
of that, they also showed the teaser for a new Halo game. They didn't specifically call it Halo 5. They just called it Halo. Which, you know, that looks like a Halo game. Well done, Microsoft. You announced that you still have Halo. Didn't really seem to show any kind of promises as to what the game would be other than you'd be fighting a big enemy.
Halo TV show.
Oh,
Maybe we'll
and
tie into the TV show.
After Halo 4,
that'd
I
be
don't
interesting.
give a shit about Halo.
Yeah, that seems to be like most people I talk to that or listen to that seems to be their sentiments about Halo. But they did go out on a bang with I think one of the most impressive games of the show, Titanfall, which looks well splendid.
I'm watching that now. Damn, it's cool.
Hey, Call of Duty. I think you might be slightly done because you don't got mechs.
They're not.
Like-
They're mechs.
They are, mate.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, no, not
they're
really.
Titans,
They're just
but
like
they're mechs.
you might as well. It's just like you might as well be a giant man because that's how they obviously look like. They control and
Yeah, obviously they're not like the traditional big slow mechs, but they're still like.
that would be cool. I want a proper sort of. I like mechs like that.
You like big old slow ass. Like there is an MMO with mechs in them. But yeah, unfortunately, Titanfall's also coming out on PC, so no need to get an Xbox One, it seems.
Really?
And also, Titanfall is only Xbox exclusive for a year, so look to see Titanfall
really?
2 on PlayStation 4.
Does that 1 year exclusivity apply to PC or not?
No, it's coming to
Or will it be,
PC
PC straight away?
with yeah, I'm pretty sure it was announced for Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC, so I'm assuming it'll be. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I would just assume that PC it would come out of PC at launch.
Yeah.
And
well,
okay,
like,
there was also the last point that they announced the price of £429, which is $499. Well, it's not $499. We're being charged £429. Americans are being charged
We're being charged
$500.
30% extra.
Yeah, well, it's because we're amazing, and we
I've
well,
never
actually no, we
understood
pay more
that.
tax, don't we? So don't understand
but
that.
we do get free healthcare.
Yeah, that healthcare is amazing.
If you
worth
want
paying
cheaper
for.
consoles, we have to give up healthcare.
Done.
Yeah, I made my decision. I'm giving priority. Fuck
I
off,
chose the blue
mosquito.
pill.
So we'll quickly go around the table. Ben, what do you think about the price point? Considering
Of
that's
what?
about 100, that's 80, 100 quid for the for the Kinect. The price point for the Xbox.
I think it's alright. I mean, you can't expect them to make a next gen console and it not be more expensive. Like people going, oh, the old Xbox was like, was it like 200 odd or 300 odd quid?
Okay, I'm
I
back.
think it came out at 349. I might be wrong on that. Might be 399. That came
Then,
out.
like, you can't expect it to be the old, like when it came out, to be 349, and then they put so much more effort, so much more power, so much more technology in, and the price not go up. Like people were just like fucking. What people are gonna do is they're gonna bitch, whine, and complain. When it comes out, they're gonna like be in the queue. Oh well, I mean it is a lot of money, but then when they get it, they're gonna go home and go, ah, this was
And
so
you don't mind about
worth
the
everything."
Kinect price? You don't mind
Do you
paying for a
have to
Kinect?
buy that?
Yeah, no, it comes
Yeah,
with a box.
I've
Part
already
of that
got
price.
one.
It has to be
So-
connected to the Xbox One to work. For the Xbox One to
Um,
work.
I'll just sell my old Connect. It doesn't bother
Yeah,
me.
if you haven't already. Seriously, people should
Sell
be
that
selling those
shit.
things the day after they bought them.
I mean, to be honest, being able to come into my room, had a shit day, and then just no, right. Imagine this: you come home, you're having a shit. Ah, I forgot to turn on my Xbox. So
why
now
are
when
you
I
having a
finish
shit in
eating-
your room?
No, just think.
Is
"Ah,
that where your
I'm having a
toilet
sh-
is?
Having a shit. And then you're thinking, because the first thing I do when I come in from work is I boot up my PC, right? So if you're thinking, oh, I forgot to boot up my Xbox, you can just shout to your Xbox, Xbox turn on,
From the toilet.
you know. Yeah, you can be having a shit right there, and it'll boot up for you.
I do like the term Xbox go home because just you're gonna have to say Xbox go home. You're drunk.
That was
Right? First
funny.
video I'm going to put up of the Xbox One is going to be me on the toilet shouting Xbox on.
I'm looking forward to your Xbox One coverage, Ben. Actually, that is your. I'm making you Xbox One editor for Four Plonkers.
Cool.
Congratulations on the promotion.
I looked
It'll
up
be-
Ryan,
Xbox.
thoughts on the price
Xbox
point?
shit.
360 came out at £280.
Still, like,
Well,
you can't.
in comparison with, have you done the USA sort of thing, dollars, the pounds? Like,
We're getting charged.
well, is it 499 and 429?
Yeah, that's it.
No. No. New Xbox isn't
It
500
is,
quid.
Ben.
500, well, $499. Yeah, we're kind of getting screwed over in the UK anyway.
But
Price,
do you think if the prices were equal, and I'm saying if the dollar price was higher and the Xbox One was still 429, do you think that's still a high price, or would you be happy to pay that?
right now, yeah, fine, sort of thing. If I was younger, then maybe it'd be more of an issue. Like if my parents had to pay for it, or
Exactly. You imagine mum and dad buying one of these for Christmas this year, and they're going to look at both of them. They're going to be told that both of them are pretty much the same. Which one do they go for? Do they go for the one that allows them to, get maybe a bit more Christmas presents, or the more expensive one? I mean, it's usually up to the kid, and if you're a kid getting a console bought for you for Christmas, then chances are your parents are pretty much love you and they're going to get the one you want. But I don't know.
When I have kids, I'm buying this cheap shit.
When you have
I
kids,
can
you
believe that's
explode
that.
them. Wrap them in little bombs. Matt, any thoughts? Any additional thoughts on the 429?
I'm gonna pay it.
Oh, you get an Xbox One then?
I'll be getting both most likely.
Not at the same time though.
Might do.
Oh.
He got that full-time money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like Matt with money. I've only just realised that we live in a world where Matt has money.
What's wrong with
That
that?
has money.
It's awesome. We just got to catch up to you now. Well, I do. Zach's fucking Jewish. Zach, anything else to add? Or
Yeah,
we can move on to the third party.
It's a shame that like Connect is compulsory, and they've obviously had to tag the price on for that. Because without it, they'd be more competitive with Sony. A lot of people won't acknowledge the fact that Connect is bumping up the price. It's kind of like, a lot of people don't give a shit about Connect. So when they're looking at the price, they're still looking at the Xbox price. To them, they're not paying for the Connect. They're just paying that $49 for having an Xbox One. Because the Connect isn't a choice. It's just there.
did I hear they're making a Connect for PC?
Yes. Well, no,
webcam.
there is a Connect that is compatible with the PC. That is in the works. Yeah.
A webcam.
Yeah. Webcam. Logitech.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so here's a question I'll pose to you guys. If there was a cheaper version that didn't come with the Kinect, would you get that over the more expensive version with the Kinect? Bear in mind that you get,
Hell yes.
the idea of like saying Xbox Go Home is in itself probably worth the admission.
Hell no.
So without Connect, you don't
I'd
get
go for
voice
the cheaper
activate.
option.
You don't get any voice commands.
Yeah, you don't get any of that stuff. You just get
Xbox.
something that can play video games.
And your Xbox actually turns
I'm having a
off.
shit. Roger that, Ben. Booting up. Thank you.
So Ben, would you get the Kinect version or without Kinect version?
Is there a I thought it was compulsory.
This is this is a hypothetical question. If there was a cheaper Xbox One that didn't come with the Kinect, would you get that over the one that did come with the Kinect?
Yeah, because then I don't really use my Kinect now. The only time I use it is at Christmas with family.
Bearing in mind, without a Kinect, you don't have voice commands. because without Kinect, your Xbox isn't always on.
That's fine. Like, doesn't bother me.
So you don't think
One
the
thing I'd say-
Kinect experience is going to be like vital to your Xbox One time?
Because like the way that Kinect sort of flunked on the original Xbox, it just didn't appeal to me. Like if I want to play a Kinect game, I'll go out and buy the Kinect afterwards. But it wouldn't be a selling point for me. If someone says to me, "Oh, I've
That's
got a Kinect," I say, "Well, okay. Well, what difference does it make? You can do voice commands, or I can just scroll using the controller."
Yeah. You were
Or
saying,
use a
Ryan?
button, which is infinitely better.
I mean, if you're going to have a console for, what, 7, 8 years? Or is it... I can't even remember how long the 360's been out. Maybe longer.
This is 8th year.
Yeah, so if you're going to have a console for that length of time, would you want the full functionality? Even though I'm saying that, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to use the Kinect sort of thing. But if you've got that functionality there for the future...
I still think though it's a case of. I mean, what decent Kinect games are there?
Yeah, I know, but it's about the
Ghost of
future,
the
isn't it? You got to think, what can they do with it? And
Dance
it
Central.
offers a lot of, potential, really, doesn't
Decent
it?
games don't count, Will.
Star Wars.
Dancing. That Star Wars Connect game. God, no wonder LucasArts died. Yeah, Ryan's right.
But I think
Ryan wins.
I think like quote unquote always online, but maybe not even always online, but the assumption that like most of the gaming will be done online. If developers can rely on that, then it's kind of like it's a feature where gaming will evolve a lot more in the coming years, and the way it's used will be enhanced a lot over the coming years. So because that feature is available, we'll see better games in 5 years or 2 years or whatever. Whereas Kinect, I think, is a gimmick, and we won't see that.
I think that by Microsoft putting Kinect in every box, we are more likely to see Kinect become something really amazing. Because obviously
Well,
you
I
get
don't
less
know,
people are
yeah,
less inclined
with
to
the Kinect.
develop for a Kinect if like not everyone has Kinect. Whereas if everyone does have everyone who buys Xbox One, as long as those sale figures are up high, and I imagine they will, because people will buy this thing. They'll be able, like developers will see that everyone has Kinect in their home. We need to develop something for Kinect, so then people are more inclined to
But
buy
they
our
don't.
thing. But they will. From now on, they will because
It
Kinect was a
sounds
peripheral.
like more effort to them.
By the way,
Yeah, anything that's cross-platform is going to be a lot more effort for developers.
And I don't want voice.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
If like, what can they add? They can add voice commands to my game. Sometimes I'm playing at 2 a.m., 2 in the morning. I do not want to be shouting.
Yeah, as long as you don't make Call of Duty with reload voice commands.
I think it's more like the reading your face and like being able to see what your heart rate is. That is the kind of like those will be the things that define Kinect. Yeah, it's like it's funny as we say it now, but imagine like in like 6 years' time, where someone's finally had enough time to work with this thing, and you get a true horror experience that is like in the Kinect is able to read you like a book and be able to just like depending on like what kind of emotions you're exhibiting, depends on what the game throws at you.
Okay,
That's the
I wanna
kind of
make
like
this-
next gen thing.
I want to make this comparison though. When the developer has to make a game and it's cross-platform, they have to consider they can't do the best that they can. They have to do what they can for the weakest link kind of thing. They have to start
Common
the
denominator.
worst console. Yeah, the common denominator. When you've got a Kinect and a lot of the things that the Kinect can do, it's really based on the environment that the Kinect is in. Are you in a big room? Are you in a small room? How many people are in the room? What furniture have you got in the room? That is not constant at all. So if they make a game where Kinect features are heavily used, it's going to rely on you having your playing in perfect conditions. Like if I'm playing this game and I need to be the only heartbeat in the room, I need to make sure that no one's going to walk in my room.
Well, that was the problem with like the first Connect in that it wasn't that good at doing that kind of stuff, and that's what they're saying, that this is what this Connect does better. But only time will tell as to what if it is true. I want to push on because we've got another few things to get through, and
4-hour
Just say one
podcast.
thing.
yeah, we'll see. So next up
Can
was
I
EA.
just say
Do you
one more
guys
thing?
Ben wants to say one more thing. Let him do it, damn it.
fine, do it, just do it.
When Matt's playing COD, sometimes he says, "Oh, in a minute, I'm going to turn my Xbox off." Is that going to turn it off? Because he said Xbox off.
I think the Kinect senses as to whether you're, because you got to look into the camera and speak.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
it sees whether you're looking. So if you aren't looking at the Xbox, it will know that you aren't speaking to the Xbox.
But I have a lazy
Um,
eye. What does that do to me?
You,
Fucked.
I can't use it.
can't use 3D,
Xbox
can't
One.
use Kinect.
Who, me? Yeah, you're the Xbox.
Yeah. Only time will tell with that thing though. Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, Game of the Year all year.
That looks
Yeah.
so cool.
I want.
Who would have believed, like, if you said to someone, "We're gonna make a Plants vs Zombies third-person horde mode game," you would be
Mate,
like, "That
no.
sounds like the worst thing ever."
No chance. Like, there was that. It, like, what Plants vs. Zombies is, in my mind, would never have gone transformed into what that is. Like, there's just no connection, like, that I would have made to thinking that that could be made. And I was like, when it came up, I was like, oh my god, they actually did it. And when I looked at it, I had no idea, I didn't think it was something that, like, I didn't really think about it, but, like, in my head, thinking backwards, it's not something that I thought could be done properly, like, transferring what Plants vs. Zombies is into a third-person shooter. But the way they've done it, it just looks like, wow, they've actually done it perfectly from what it looks like.
Is
For
there
me,
anyone
I
else
still think
here
it's
that played?
for the tablet
Oh yeah.
rather than an Xbox.
For me, it looks as gay
Or even
as
a
Evil
console.
Pinata.
I was going to say, has anyone else actually played Plants vs Zombies? Except for me and Zach.
I haven't.
No.
So
But
yeah,
it looks really good for being like top-down sort of app to being a full game.
you know what would be impressive
3D.
if the oh, hello.
I pressed enter.
Okay.
What's that
What
do?
would be
Oh,
cool
shit.
is if like the app integration was like.
Okay, that's
That's so frustrating.
Sorry.
Is if like.
How did you know that was not going to happen?
It's, you know what? It's late, and
Don't
yeah,
tell
that was
me
dumb.
it's frustrating.
I'm gonna move on. Fuck you guys. I'm moving on. We're gonna talk about Titanfall now because fuck you guys.
Again?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought we'd already talked about Titanfall.
No, it's just that was what came next in the EA conference. I'm just going down the list. The game still looks amazing for after the Microsoft press conference, and we will all be
It
playing
does.
that, I imagine.
But EA made it. Not made it.
Can anyone remember
EA.
what? No, EA didn't make it. Respawn made it.
Yeah,
They're
that's it.
involved.
EA are the publishers, and I'm pretty sure Respawn have like the kind of oomph
Phil gets
and
fucked
like
over.
people there, like talent that like have enough. They maybe have enough sway to kind of persuade. I mean, these are the guys that made the biggest selling first-person shooter that reinvented the genre for the last generation. They're not guys that you kind of go in and say,
Did
"Oh,
they-
you can't do that."
So, what are they? Were they a
Respawn is the
on
team
Infinity
who
Ward?
used to be they used to be Infinity Ward before they all got sacked after the Modern Warfare 2 debacle.
Really?
And yeah, they basically all left and went and respawned. Remade in Respawn, reformed
they all
in Respawn.
respawned.
They yeah.
Well, they
if you
kinda
strike me
did
down
respawn.
now. I'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Yeah, so it is really talented guys. So, and I mean, obviously, you can see that from what they've shown. After that, they showed the teaser for Star Wars Battlefront, which was
Mhm.
weird because
I
it
lo- I
wasn't
lost my
necessarily
shit.
surprising, and yet people got super pumped for that, and it was also really kind of like generic. It was like, oh, it's about Hoth, like who cares? But then just seeing that Battlefront had been announced, it's pretty cool. And plus knowing that the guys at DICE are doing that game.
That was awesome. DICE making Battlefield.
No, you know what?
Battlefield?
It's
Sorry.
a farce. I've just remembered. It's not DICE making it. It's Danger Close, who are the guys who made the Medal of Honor games. But because, Danger Close made Medal of Honor and those games did poorly, they, sacked everyone from Danger Close and rebranded them as DICE. So actually, people who made Battlefield aren't making Star Wars Battlefront. The people who made Medal of Honor are making the people who made Star Wars Battlefront. Sorry to rain on your parade, but yeah.
Oh,
They did rain on my parade.
I have just remembered that. Yeah, that's So that's another kind of like shitty little thing that EA have done where, oh, this developer, essentially like naming everyone in their company either BioWare, Visceral, or DICE, because BioWare, Visceral, and DICE are all known for making good games once upon a time. I mean, DICE still make them, and arguably BioWare still make good games.
I really liked their little intro to Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. It was
The Battlefield
3
thing really threw
that
me
was
off. It
funny as shit.
was
You're
really
like,
clever,
oh
but we're
yeah,
not talking
more
about Plants
Battlefield.
vs Zombies anymore because
I
you
know,
guys
but I'm
suck.
just saying,
Shut up.
it was cool.
Need for Speed, the new Need for Speed game looks like a Need for Speed game. Anyone here interested
I've
in
never
Need for
played
Speed?
Need for Speed, but I do know what
Ben,
racing
Ryan?
games are like.
no, not really.
Ben, racing games.
If I was going to get a racing game, it would be Forza, to be honest.
I
So
think
you're
Forza's
Xbox
more of
One
your
guy.
like simulator, whereas your Need for Speed's a lot more arcadey. But Aaron
Yeah.
Paul coming out and kind of showing the Need for Speed movie stuff, like he's kind of a cool guy. I like him.
Bitch.
He didn't say
what I liked
bitch
about-
once.
He didn't say
so
bitch once,
I
which is
did not
incredibly
like that.
disappointing. Yeah,
I think
that
he's been
I am
like
upset
replaced. He's been
and
abducted.
frustrated.
that's not the real Aaron Paul. Yeah, that's Bryan Cranston, like in an Aaron Paul suit. It's
Yeah,
when he
seems
says, "I'm the
legit.
one who knocks, bitch."
We have to cook. What I liked about one of the features I liked in that Need for Speed game is where he drives up to a junction and then has the option to join in a race there and then.
No!
Obviously,
Is that
Ryan didn't
another
like
one
it,
of those
but I did.
games
Ryan
where
did not
it's
like
single
that.
player, but then it's also multiplayer?
Is that when all the like cars just came out of fucking nowhere, going like 100
Yeah.
miles an hour?
Because he
Yeah,
came
and
up
then he
to the
has to start
junction
the
and stopped.
race at 0
He-
miles
he-
per hour. Everyone else is
he-
already going, and you're like, "That's
He came
not
up to
fair."
the junction and had to choose whether he wanted to join the event or not. He clicks yes, and then all the cars just seem like they spawn up the road and then just drive past at 100 miles per hour.
That's pretty clever.
I do like that.
I know your Need for Speed games are pretty cool, and apparently, from what people have been saying out of the show floor, that game's actually pretty solid. 60 frames per second, which is always nice. Afterwards, again, Matt is our local Dragon Age aficionado. Dragon Age Inquisition was
As long
announced
as it's better
or
than the
shown.
second one, it can do no wrong.
Sweet.
And it can
Apparently,
only get better.
people like Morrigan. Is it Morrigan? Morgan?
Morrigan disapproves. -10.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's a meme from the first game. I played
Yeah.
I think, you know what? I want to say 10 hours of Dragon Age 1, and I don't think I've really scratched the surface of that game.
No, it's about 33 hours long. I think.
Yeah, I
clocked
went-
on it.
I tried to play it again recently, but unfortunately it hasn't aged that well, and it kind of looks really awful.
Yeah,
And I lost my gay
I-
dwarf character, so I wasn't really
I
inclined
love
to
it.
go
I
back.
mean, the first game was like really good in terms of sort of action RPG. But the second one was pretty much Mass Effect with swords, which sounds good.
That sounds
it's not.
incredible. But yeah,
it was really bad.
the good thing about Mass Effect is all of the conversation and
It
stuff
has
in the
guns.
Citadel. I'm pretty sure we're going to fly by the next part unless Ben or Ryan wants to say something about the EA Sports game section. NBA Live,
Woo!
FIFA
Bounce
14, Madden 25, UFC.
Oh my god.
Bounce
Shit.
Tech is
Waste of time.
amazing. I love it. The what was it? The guy who came out and did the Def Jam poetry for the basketball thing. And it's just like, what's going on? Like there was a proper good
I-
minute of just no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
was
when he
pathetic.
came out, I was like, I started listening. I don't think I was watching at that point, and I was just listening, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening right now?
Aren't I supposed to be watching E3?
Yeah, and Drake coming out and introducing FIFA 14 because people apparently like Drake a rapper, yeah, singer, likes
Yeah,
football.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Weird,
then
yeah.
they brought out like 2 UFC champions,
Oh
lightweight and
yeah.
heavyweight, who
I
had
gotta
not
wonder
much
if those two have ever
personality.
fought in the ring with each other, and they're just kind of standing next to each other, being like, "Man, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you."
I doubt it, because one's lightweight and one's heavyweight.
Oh yeah, was that okay? Didn't see that. And then okay, so you could say that they, finished the show with a showstopper, but they really, they knocked it out of the park with their last two games, or at least the second to last game, Battlefield 4, the exploding the ground so the tank fell down, and then the building. Like we should talk
Wouldn't
about
it be
that stuff
funny if they
because,
brought 63 people on stage?
yeah, yeah. They did that for Medal of Honor a couple of years ago, I think. Except it was 32 people. But
Yeah, other
like,
than the
guys, like, a fucking building collapses in Battlefield 4. Like,
other
what is
than
going on?
that
Yeah,
obvious
but
one,
that's
I also really liked they're in like an underground car park, whatever, and this is like a smaller version of the skyscraper thing where they knock out the pillars and the road above, like,
Collapses
falls
down,
through.
yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's super
you
cool.
can tell more of what, yeah, that's kind of what's going on with the skyscraper, and that was cool. So skyscraper, I don't know what to say.
Um, yeah, Ben, Ryan, like anything you want to add? Just like, do you want to gush a little bit or
It just looked amazing. And to be honest, I haven't been a massive fan of Battlefield 3, but
get
yeah,
out?
Battlefield 4,
That's for me.
Battlefield 4 really, ticked all the boxes sort of thing. Battlefield 3 was kind of missing the destruction of what Bad Company did,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but obviously the graphics are so much better in Battlefield 3. And like combining them, and I'm sure they've done loads of other stuff with vehicles and etc. So yeah, I can't wait to play it really.
looking at this screenshot here, it looks like you can have more than 4 people in your squad, which would
That's
be
what
good
they
for
had.
us.
They had 4 people and a commander, but it's still
Oh,
64
is that
player
what it
lobby.
is? Yeah.
Or
Oh
is it
yeah, I
only
remember
an
talking about
alpha?
that now. Is it alpha or is it beta? Because I mean, are they feature complete?
Alpha.
But in beta, so who knows?
Who knows,
Um,
indeed.
yeah, Ben,
Um,
like anything you want to like bring to the Battlefield 4 table? Any thoughts? Or you just like rest of us just super
I'm
happy?
happy with what I've seen already. The only thing that now would just tip over the edge is have less restrictions on where you can go.
It looks like
Like
you
the
can get in an
orange- the
elevator
orange
and go to wherever, like
that.
in the skyscraper. So
I mean, if you're right, if someone's in the elevator and then you blow up the building, I'd rather people just don't just die. Because if you're in a building and it collapses, you just flat out just die because the game recognizes where you are when the building's collapsed. I don't know, maybe like a little animation of the death.
yeah,
would be
so
nice.
what if like you had to like fight your way out the debris?
That'd be cool. But then
Yeah, like kind of like a
it would make
World
I
Trade
think,
Center
like,
thing.
it would make bringing the building down a bit irrelevant.
specifically if you're in a lift, then you're
I was
gonna
gonna
die.
say if you're protected.
like-
I was gonna say if like you're under a doorway or something, or like you're protected, or maybe if you're in the lift in the ground floor, and you're not falling anywhere.
Yeah, but I like the idea that like
I
maybe
just say something?
using the lift is a risk. Like you can use the lift to get to the
Yeah.
top and have a good vantage point, but while you're in the lift, the building might get taken out, and you have no way to get out. Whereas if you're on the floor,
Matt-
you can just jump out the window and parachute.
Matt, this is a podcast. You can say anything you want.
I hate to rain on your parade, but that building falling down is probably going to be highly scripted, like the radio tower falling down on fuck it, what's it called? That big map on Battlefield 3.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know what, Matt? It doesn't
Because
make it
after
any
the
less
buildings,
awesome.
oh, it doesn't make it less awesome, but yeah, I think you
When
guys
you say
are
it's
delving
scripted,
too
what
much
do you
into.
what do you
Like,
mean?
it will happen at a certain point in the game. So once you reach halfway, like halfway tickets,
No,
the
but it showed
building
the
will
tanks
collapse.
shooting. It showed the tanks shooting the base of the skyscraper.
No, I would say that
I
it's
don't
more
believe that for
scripted
a
in that it
second.
always falls down that way. In like the destruction
Oh
is
yeah,
always the
I
same.
agree. It'll always fall that exact way.
No,
Definitely.
I'm saying like halfway through the game it will fall down and create obviously a new point to fight over.
I
I like both
will
ideas. I think
disagree.
both those kind
I
of things sound cool.
I'm kind of like
Either way.
I think you're maybe getting a bit too excited for it.
My opinion
Like-
is that there'll be like 4 key structure points that the tanks have to blow up. You blow them up, and then the building collapses in a scripted way.
And then
The only
there's
thing
a new
the,
capture point.
blowing up the column and having the tank fall through the ground. I mean, that thing's going to be like, oh, you're only going to be able to do that on very, very certain points around the map.
Yeah,
That's
It's
and
in
again, that's like a
specific
Battlefield moment,
locations.
you know, where you manage to pull off something that you shouldn't be able to pull off, and yet because of just the sheer
Yeah, but
frequency of how much is going on, that just it happens.
What self-respecting tank driver is going to go anywhere near any of those points?
Well, no, obviously that was
Noob.
scripted. Like they had.
Yeah,
all
it
their
all
people
looks
doing it.
it all looks very
Scripted,
good.
not
scripted.
in game, but scripted in terms of like they rehearsed
Yeah.
the game before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but that's the
They
thing.
purposely went
like,
to that location.
It's
the fact that
a
it's
demo.
there.
They're showing that stuff off, but it doesn't mean that's never going to happen. It means, in fact, by showing it, they're showing that it can happen, and because it's a Battlefield game, it will happen.
I don't know. I don't want to get too excited for it because it has very good potential to be very disappointing.
Yeah, it's high on the
I
list
hope
of
there's
like
more
games you're excited
destruction
for.
in it.
I think
yeah.
everything they've shown off looks promising, and if they could deliver on
I
that promise,
think,
then great.
I think strongly that it's a case of like you take out structural like points and then a building will collapse. The only
I
thing
mean,
is,
if Bad Company can do it, and that
the
was
thing with
years
that is,
old.
like the thing with that is like once it's done in that match, it's like then it's done. Like the map is now changed to whatever it looks like afterwards. So if someone just goes and does it straight away, does it really matter? Kind of thing? Like it's not that big a thing if it can only happen once.
I
Agreed.
don't know.
We'll see when it comes out. Also, Commander mode apparently, which is pretty cool. And they
That looks
finished
boring as
the show. Someone has got to do it. Someone's got to be the armchair general,
Yeah, but
and
imagine
if
how
you're
boring
just
that's
like,
going to be.
if you can't
Is that
get
just
access to their
Overwatch?
games, or you're waiting, you're like in the middle of doing something, you're like, I'll quickly log on to and just help someone out in their battle.
So like Ben's taking a shit and he goes on his tablet and plays Battlefield Valley
Yeah, exactly.
because Ben loves to do
And,
stuff when he's taking a shit.
Turn his Xbox on, play Battlefield.
Yes.
You might as well just stay on the toilet all the time. They gave the fans what they wanted at the very end and announced a new Mirror's Edge game, even though we all knew it was coming. Apparently, this one's a prequel set before the original game, and it's open world.
Don't care.
Sweet.
The first Mirror's Edge was horrible.
And
heard that, I haven't
it was
played it.
really good when it was really good, and it was really bad when it was really bad. If that makes sense. We're going to move on to Ubisoft because this thing's getting long, and we'll have things to say about
Hard.
Ubisoft.
What?
That bitch.
Girlwood, Aisha Tyler.
Fucking hell.
Fucking
Just
fucks.
no.
Let's not talk about her because I thought whatever, she's a host. Let's talk about the video games. They've started off by showing off Rocksmith. I don't imagine anyone here gives a shit, but that's what they started with.
Is that what, I
Any
can't
thoughts?
even remember that. I think I missed it.
They opened with the guy out playing guitar.
Fuck
The
it, don't
Alice in
care.
Chains guitarist. Yeah, I don't know. And then they showed a really confusing trailer for Tony Clancy's Tony Clancy. Tom Clancy's
The very
Splinter Cell
popular Tony
Blacklist.
Clancy.
It's Tom's brother. New Splinter Cell game. No idea what was happening in that trailer, but I'm excited for that game. Matt, any thoughts on Blacklist?
If it's anything like Conviction, I would like to play it because Conviction was good.
Woo!
I liked it.
Yeah. Damn straight. Ben, Ryan, have you played any of these Splinter Cell games before?
No.
Ages ago on PS2.
Yeah. What about Blacklist? Does that tickle your fancies, either of you?
Haven't really looked at it.
Okay.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't the best conferences.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. I kind of stopped watching after the first couple of games.
Fair enough. After that, they showed a game that actually you guys have played, Rayman Legends. In fact, I played it as well because I downloaded the demo on Wii U. Weird for them to show a game that most people have already played at a press conference, but that game still looks great.
Because it
Anyone
looks so
disagree?
good.
Yeah, it does look. It looks great.
I don't know whether they had tits,
What
but
you'd be
whatever.
just as happy to watch that game as to play it.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Wait, where? What?
the
the-
tits.
The little Viking lady had massive boobs that jiggled
Balloons.
everywhere, and it's just
They were
like,
weird.
Yeah.
They're
what
like very
happened to a
spherical.
fucking
They were
Rayman
like-
game?
2 tennis balls. Yeah.
It was really weird.
Except not green and fuzzy. Yeah. I completely forgot about that. The mighty quest for epic loot, which kind of ties in for what we were talking about earlier with user-created content for your ARPG, because I'm pretty sure that's what that game is. Like, you create your dungeon, and then you
Yeah, everyone has their own
you make it so it's impossible, and then you go and raid your friends' dungeons, if you know what I
And
mean.
you can set up traps, I think,
Yeah.
or whatever.
The trailer
they
seemed really
didn't-
dumb, but
They didn't show anything in the
Concept
trailer,
seems cool.
but it was very funny.
yeah.
I like the
funny.
trailer, but I don't like the concept of the game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was just
reason why?
I wasn't. Well, I like the trailer because I like those kind of silly trailers that I like that, but the game didn't interest me. Like, nothing they said to do with the game sounded like it would be, fun for me. I mean,
I feel
fair
like I
enough.
don't know enough about it.
Ryan, any thoughts on the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot? As someone who also you enjoy your ARPGs, yeah.
I don't really know too much about it, to be honest.
I think it's pretty much like you create a dungeon and then you can go and like play your friends' dungeons with your character as well, and then they can play your dungeon. I think that's what it is.
No, I
yeah,
don't think so. I kind of like
Yeah,
my games built for me.
I'm with you. However, the game they showed next, which we all kind of was worried about, South Park, the Stick of Truth, and the Nagasaki joke, which got chuckles from pretty much everyone
sorry,
in the world.
what?
South Park, the Stick of Truth.
Yeah, but Nagasaki joke.
Yeah, I'm going to teach you a fart called the Nagasaki. It's so powerful that whenever someone uses it, it makes them go ooh.
Oh no, I remember that.
Yeah, and then he
my
does
bloody name.
Nagasaki.
Yeah, I did. I can't remember. I watched. That was like ages ago.
It's been my Steam
It was
name
like-
since that day.
It's like 6 days ago, man.
So
So South Park's still going to
I'll-
happen.
I'll talk about this because I watched a little interview that Matt Stone and Trey Parker did at E3 with someone.
Do it. Nothing.
They said like they've been going at this game like hard, like when they took a break from South Park to do Book of Mormon. Book of Mormon is what they did like all day, every day, day after day, just like constantly. And now that that's done, then they're on another break from South Park. The game is what they're doing, and I think they said they've been trying to do it for like 4 years, and like they're just one of the points that Matt Stone brought up is that like they really want they're going heavily on the jokes kind of thing because South Park. So I think it looks like the cartoon, and I think it's gonna feel like the cartoon as well, because they're trying to put a lot of the humor in there, and to get a lot of the jokes in there, it's gonna be like cutscenes or wherever. That will literally be the cartoon. And he mentioned uh, like you have to get the pacing correct in the game to make the joke work, and so sometimes they'll put a joke in and then play it through, like it'll get like coded or whatever, and play it through, and then be like, actually no, we need to change this to this, and then that takes another month or whatever to actually get it put in the game, and it just results in the game taking a long time to make, and they're not willing to make anything that's they don't think is good. So it's a lot of, because I think because they do it a lot when they're making South Park episodes, like they'll sit there and brainstorm for the day on what jokes to put in and where to put them. But when you do that for a video game, there's coding that needs to be done.
You can't just like put it straight in and like implement it and just like get instant
Yeah,
reward as to what it sounds
to
like.
see
Because
to know whether it works or not, it needs to be made for them to actually check the pacing of it, kind of thing. They need to see
Yeah.
how it flows.
and with like I guess with
Uh,
like the episodes, they could just maybe read the script out while doing a really rough animation, and if they laugh, fine. Whereas that they've got to have like the gameplay stuff like working as well and making
Yeah.
sure that like
Well,
everything leading up to
what
that joke makes sense.
I mean, what I've
Fucking hell.
what I gathered is that they're focusing a lot more on it being kind of, a laugh rather than like it. They really focused on like there's a lot of jokes in there. It's going to be comedic. I don't think they say it's an RPG, but I don't think there'll be that much depth to it. It'll be a cartoon game.
For Plonker's exclusive, South Park the game will play like shit, but you will have a good time while playing it.
Yeah, I think you will. Even if like compared to more respected RPGs, it's complete and utter dog shit.
Cool. Right, I'm gonna go through these last few Ubisoft games. I will just say the ones that I don't think people are interested in. Just Dance 2014. Anything? No.
No.
Rabbids Invasion, the
No.
TV show, Xbox One thing.
Family thing. No.
Yeah. New Trials game. Actually, you guys are into Trials, right? Ben?
I'm not, but it does. I don't
like
play it, but it's very popular and it looks like it's got a certain appeal.
Cool.
And new trials with some more trials.
And then I guess Watch Dogs.
Nah.
They showed a CG trailer for that. I think that game looks great, but it's looked great for the past year, so nothing new to really talk about there. Anyone got anything they want to say about Watch Dogs? Any new insights from
Watch
press
Dogs
conferences?
looks as good as it did last year.
Yeah.
Very interesting concept to put into that game.
Yeah, pretty much what Zach said.
Okay. The Assassin's
Mhm.
Creed game, they showed a trailer. I haven't played Assassin's Creed 3, so not too. I think I'm a little burnt out on Assassin's
Better
Creed.
off.
But
What's the notion behind
yeah.
it? A pirate trained by assassins.
yeah, you're an assassin who's become a pirate, I think.
Well, I think it's losing its touch a bit now. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, maybe a touch of the going back to the well one too many times.
Yeah. I don't know. The last one didn't really do it for me.
That was the impression that I got. Like a lot of people I follow, bless you. Just like that, this game was more disappointing than it was fun. And then I guess they finished with The Division, which seems to be DayZ killer from what Ali was telling me. The game that it's like a massively multiplayer online role-playing game set in New York where you can work together as a team going around doing missions and stuff. It looks phenomenal. As the bullets going through the police car, like you can point to that and go, that is like worth the wait. It looks amazing. Just me, but guys, podcast talk.
Uh-huh.
Don't put me on the
What do you think of
spot.
The Division, guys?
What division?
I don't like the look of it.
Go on, Matt. Why not?
Because yeah, it looks flashy and all that shit, and looks very cool. But again, I have a feeling that all of that was scripted as all fuck, and the actual game will be nothing like that.
Well, you got to remember they designed these E3 demos to kind of like show the audience
Oh no, yeah, they're to sell.
what they
they're
want
they're
this
to
game
sell
to
the
be.
game, you know.
They're not. It's not like
But
deliberately going like, oh, we're going to trick them into thinking this game's something else. Like, no, they're kind of like showing not only they're trying to show
that's the thing.
the audience what they want their game to be, so then they can like kind of get a good feedback as to whether that's what the audience wants. Because I mean, if you looked at that game and someone said to you that's exactly what the game will be like, would you go, yes, I'd play that?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I mean, the reason why they design like that is
it looks like an instanced third-person cooperative shooter, and it's not like I've played probably 1,000 of those.
I agree that like the kind of the gameplay in terms of like just it's another third person shooter with like health bars above enemies and stuff and like leveling up. None of that's very like original or innovative, but like combining all these things together onto a console that's apparently the game's going to be free to play from what I heard. I'm not entirely sure if that's
In that
accurate.
case, I don't want to play it even more because there's going to be fuckloads of microtransactions and it's going to be pay to win.
Well, again, they probably designed so that it wasn't pay to
That
win.
is how most free-to-play games go.
I think that's how they started off, but there's less like that these days. But yeah, Zach, thoughts on the Division?
The Division, that's the one where they were all like
In New York City.
people talking were very scripted, weren't they?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, that's they're kind of just talking to each other, but like
but they're obviously
military talky. But yeah, they were
over the
reading
top.
scripts.
But yeah, it looked interesting. They showed off. You're playing single player, now you're playing co-op, and guess what? You're multiplayer the entire time.
I love that so much.
I'm getting fucking
Like
sick of that
Ubisoft are committed to that kind of because they did that for the Crew as well, which I skipped past.
Yeah. So yeah, it had PvP in there, didn't it? At the end, that's PvP.
Yeah, that was
think.
real people. They were fine.
Yeah. No, I wasn't that impressed by it, to be honest.
Fuck's sake, Ryan, Ben, one of you save me. Come on, like that game looked
I
amazing.
didn't
Right?
see it.
Okay,
I didn't see
Ben.
it.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Ali. If
I
you're
don't think
listening to the podcast, I want you to know that I'm outnumbered because you're not here right now.
I don't think anything negative about it, but I think I'm the same boat as Matt with like kind of a lot of stuff I've seen before.
Okay, fair enough. So that was Ubisoft's press conference. Unless anyone really wants to talk about The Crew, which was Ubisoft's new racing game. That's kind of it's like Watch Dogs Division, but where you're a car instead of a third-person action game.
Yeah, I liked the
Again.
idea. I liked the idea of The Crew, but then what they actually showed, I thought looked like utter shit.
I like the idea of driving around America, even if it's not like actually
Real
America, like scaled, but like being able to like physically drive from New York down to Miami and then across to Los Angeles. That sounds really cool.
I think it would be a big draw to a lot of people that like to see different landmarks in America, kind of thing. Like,
I want
a
to go
lot
to
of people
America,
like
but
to-
I
Is
can't
it
get my
like-
green
okay.
card.
They had
That's
that
really
map.
Yeah. We'll talk about Nintendo next. Nintendo? No, we'll talk about Sony next. I don't think we'll have
Sony.
time for Nintendo, but I'm guessing not many people know what happened at Nintendo because they didn't have.
We
a
can
press
say what
conference.
games were at.
Not a lot happened really, from what I heard.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, I wish we could spend more time on Sony. This is running a bit long. So they started off with
I didn't
Vita
even
and
watch
PlayStation
Sony.
3. Yeah, you guys went to bed, right? Did anyone
Yep.
else watch it live?
I watched it. After doing it,
Yeah.
I died a little. 'Cause it
That
was late.
was, yeah, that was really late. Okay, so they started off with Vita. They said they were going to put God of War 1 and 2 on the Vita. Dead
It's
Nation,
cool.
Flower,
Oh.
and Walking Dead 400 Days, which gets me and Zach excited. But that's not exclusive
Yeah.
to Vita.
They also said that they were going to put Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2 on Vita. Those are good
Yeah,
games.
no one
as
gives a
well.
shit about Final Fantasy. What?
Fuck you! I'll
Um,
fight you.
Then they
Wow.
showed off for some reason The Last of Us. They showed some PS3 games. The Last of Us, Puppeteer. It's apparently like a Rayman kind of game, stylized platformer, moving from left to right or whatever. A game called Rain, where you play a ghost who's moving about in the rain. Don't know what that's about. Beyond Two Souls. If at any point anyone has anything they want to say about a particular game, chime in, please.
I saw
Beyond
a
Two
trailer
Souls.
for Beyond 2 Whatchamajiggers,
Yep.
and the
Beyond Two
trailer looked
Watchmajiggers.
really, really good. Yeah, two
But yeah,
Whatchamajiggers. That looked like
that's
another
feel like
like
we've
sort
been
of
this
Heavy
internal
way
Rain
too
sort
long.
of game.
Yeah, that's exactly the same people who made Heavy Rain, and yeah,
Oh, okay.
weird where it's kind of
I like the look of
Quantic Dream. Did you play Heavy Rain? Did you play my copy of Heavy Rain?
I did play a bit of it, and I liked
Yeah.
what I played, but obviously I don't have a PS3, so I didn't play it in full. I just played what I
That's
could when I was running Jaws.
I might actually have to replay that now because obviously depending on how you play it, you kind of get different endings. So if I played
Yeah.
it differently, I'd actually get a different ending, even though I know who the origami killer is. Gran Turismo 6. Anything? Going back to Beyond Two Souls, I think the game
I'm
looks
not
cool,
bothered.
but I have no idea what it's about. Yeah, it's another racing game at E3. Batman Arkham Origins, they showed a trailer for that, which I'd already seen during the day, but kind of showing off the new voices for Batman and Joker. Any thoughts,
Cool.
if you guys can remember?
What, on Batman?
Yeah.
I'm not
More Batman,
really...
more good.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not too bothered.
You can't talk about Batman in the same sentence as, yeah, not really bothered. Ben, I'm sorry.
I didn't realise
I'm
until
not really bothered.
I'll fucking
I
kill
didn't
you.
realise until that it wasn't that new developer was working on it.
Yeah, Warner Brothers Montreal.
I did not know that until they said it. I was like, whoa.
New design lead as
But it's
well.
not.
So
They said during one of the demo things like they're not taking away anything from the previous games. They're just building on top of it, which you can see in the gameplay, which was really
yeah,
cool.
exactly. That game looks like more of Batman, but with some cool new
I really
things.
liked
And
the
also
two-
Adam West Batman skin and Azrael
Oh,
Batman
yeah.
skin. Like Adam West Batman skin, like done, game like sold. Of course, I'm gonna buy it on PlayStation 3.
I really like those two new enemies that they showed. There might be more, I don't know. But they had the armored thug or whatever it is, the armored giant, where you have to like rip off his armor before you can beat him down. That adds like another level to the combat system, and then those ninjas. where they
Yeah,
can
the
counter
martial
you,
artists.
and you can counter their counter.
You counter their like, what kind of world are we going to be in where it's going to be countering someone's counter who's countered that counter, and you like infinite just
I
you
think-
keep pressing Y for the rest of eternity. That's all you can
I think it will stop at they can't counter your counter.
do.
so as long
That's
as
a
you
fair
counter
point because
them-
you are Batman.
as long as you like they're going, oh cool, all I have to do is counter him once and then I'm sorted. And be like, oh shit, he countered my counter. Like, can you imagine like if they've got the combat maps in there, like you're up against like two of those, and to get another variation in there, you've got to let them attack you so you can counter it. No, you got to
Yeah,
counter
exactly.
their counter.
The,
Oh, that's
the
complicated.
challenge rooms were always at
Awesome.
their best when they had a mix of like the different kind of things in there. They're not going to have I assume they're not going to have the Titan thugs in there anymore because obviously Titan doesn't exist in this at present time in the storyline. But maybe they'll have like an alternative, or maybe that's what the heavy brute is for. They also spoke a little bit about GTA 5 on the PS3 and how there's going to be a special bundle released for it. And then they showed off the PlayStation 4 console, guys. And I'm going to go around. What are your thoughts on the look of it, Ben?
What? Physically?
Look at the
or-
PlayStation 4, yeah.
It looks nice. I mean, I don't really understand why it's slanted.
'Cause it's
but, I
edgy.
mean, each to their own. But it looks alright. I think they're just trying to make it look futuristic.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, purely
Rather than a VCR.
aesthetics.
Yeah.
Ryan, any additional thoughts?
I don't know, really, it's kind of what I expected. I don't think anything else was expected, really, was it? It was going to be a box, similar kind of to what it already is, just a little redesign.
You know, Ryan, from the mouths of babes, man, you're totally right. Yeah, it's going to be a box. It was going to be black. It was going to have a PlayStation 4 logo on it. Like, what the fuck do you expect?
I mean, it wasn't going to look like the GameCube or anything, was it? So.
No. It's got a handle
You heard
on
it here. It's a box.
Um,
Ryan
Matt, you
Staten,
got anything
ladies and
else?
gentlemen.
Did you maybe do you wish there was a handle on the PlayStation 4?
No, because I don't know what you're talking about because I haven't seen the PS4.
It doesn't look too much difference, to be honest, Matt.
There was
Think of the
silence across the-
PS2.
Why? Yeah, PS2.
Think of the PS2,
Because
but
I haven't had fucking
slanted.
time.
Think of a font, right, and then
Can
think
someone
of
link
italic.
into him?
Italic PS2.
That's pretty much it. But it looks pretty good though. Zach, anything? I don't think you can really add anything to Italic PS2.
The fact that it does look a bit like the PS2 makes me happy because I love that fucking console.
It's a good console.
I'm sad
Yeah.
that I don't have it with me.
So along with the PS4, they announced that they were going to do some Music Unlimited and Video Unlimited stuff, which everyone was getting super worried about because they thought, oh no, they're going to be talking about not video games. However, they did
That's what I
kick
thought.
into video games, and they showed off a trailer for The Order 1886, which was a CG trailer. But from my understanding, that's going to be some kind of steampunk London Left 4 Dead game where you fight werewolves. I'm not sure about you guys. That sounds freaking cool.
I don't know. I'm sort of just on the fence, but I'm waiting before I make any before I take sides or.
Obviously, no gameplay was released, so we can't judge it. But this is from the people who made Gears of War 3, Gears of War Ascension. So I believe it's Santa Monica. So yeah, we can kind of expect maybe those kind of like epic scale, the epic scope that you kind of got in those
Gears of
games.
War 3 wasn't really epic.
Not Gears of War, God of War. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, what?
Yeah. Gears of War confirmed on the PlayStation 4. Cliffy B hates Sony. They showed a little bit. I think they showed like a really quick trailer and then a demo for Killzone Shadowfall and Drive Club and Infamous Second Son and Knack. Those are all games that were announced back in February and shown off a little bit.
Shit.
Oh,
When he came on, he literally was just going, PS4. Anyway, here's a game I made. It's really cool and it looks really gay.
This is the guy who brought us Crash Bandicoot, so you know it's that kind of whimsy charm that I think Mark Cerny manages to pull off. I think it looks cute and fun, and like you got to remember, video games aren't all about like kill, die, shoot. Sometimes you just kind of want to kick back and just have some fun with something, and that
No,
looks
but
like
it
it has
looks like
that kind of
Ratchet and
Pixar
Clank.
quality,
Looks like
which is
Ratchet and Clank.
synonymous with Sony brand, and Ratchet and Clank. The Ratchet and Clank series is loved by a lot of people, so. You know, I don't necessarily think. Obviously, yeah, I don't think the look of it is too much of an issue. Was it Quantic Dream also showed off their like demo thing for the Dark Sorcerer? Which I mean, what do you guys think of that? If you saw it,
Dark
With-
Sorcerer.
Oh,
the
I
old
haven't
guy
seen
who
that.
was kind of casting the spell,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it cuts to the green
Green
screen,
screen.
and the goblin has a weird face.
I don't know anything about that game.
It's not a game; it's a tech demo.
Oh right, tech.
Basically showing
What
what
was
the
it showing
PlayStation
me?
4 can do.
Graphical abilities.
Yeah, that was running on a PlayStation 4.
It looks good. I think. Definitely looked good.
Anyone else see it?
Nope.
No.
Okay,
I haven't really done a lot with E3.
It's a good thing we're doing an E3 podcast then.
But like, I saw what I wanted to watch.
No, fair enough. If you were into the Microsoft stuff and you caught that, then
You didn't. You
Moving
missed
on to-
Sony bitch slapping Microsoft.
They did uppercut Microsoft.
That
Yeah.
irritated me.
They
like,
fucked them up right up the arse.
The thing
I
is,
don't
like I
understand
said
it, though.
earlier, Microsoft had left themselves open for an attack, and
They had
Sony
it
took
coming.
It's really childish though. Microsoft didn't fucking really think.
Microsoft would
dig
do
it.
nothing different.
It's not childish. It's
They
business.
didn't though with PS3. They didn't do anything when the PS3 was announced.
I
even though it
imagine
was
they did.
overpriced and shit.
And you got to remember, the PS3 was announced after the Xbox 360 came out, whereas these two consoles are going head to head. Sorry, the PS3 wasn't
I don't
announced
know.
after the Xbox 360 came out. The price and the release date, it was released after the Xbox 360. So Microsoft were already ahead at that point. And like, I hate the term console war, but you got to remember, this is very much a battle between these two corporations vying for control for
They are.
a consumer base. And
They
it's
are
something that
competitors in the same industry.
so yeah, they are gonna get everything in that they can, and I swear down, if it was the shoe was on the other foot, Microsoft would do exactly the same thing to Sony. Speaking of Sony, because we're on Sony, they showed off a bunch of indie games, which all those games look super cool. The Witness,
Yeah, I think-
Transistor, Mercenary Kings, Octodad, Deadliest Catch, which is the best name for a video game ever made. Also, that game looks amazing. You're like an octopus moving around, and you have a mustache and suit. Secret Ponchos, Oddworld, a remake of the first Oddworld game, and New and Tasty. Sorry, Oddworld, New and Tasty. Yeah. Anyone got anything to say on any of the indie games they saw?
What did you say?
Well,
Oddsworld.
like
Sorry, Ben.
What, Abe's Odyssey thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
I will be getting this because
There
that
you go.
was
It's
some of my
PlayStation 4 sold.
childhood right there. Well, I've already said I'm getting both, so.
all those indie games look good, but I mean, what's exciting about that is they were showing like they're going to be very involved with indie developers. That's what they were really showing.
And it seems like from all the post interviews, you could be cynical and say that, like, of course they're going to say that, but it seems that these indie developers seem really impressed with what Sony are kind of offering in terms of just the freedom that they kind of get. Because you've got to remember, even though like Microsoft kind of introduced this indie, like pushing forward indies, Microsoft weren't exactly fair to their indies, and they kind of they were very restrictive on that kind of stuff. Or they were completely free, and you ended up getting the Microsoft Indie Marketplace, which was just filled with hundreds of clones and shitty games. So
Yeah.
it's good to see that like Sony is stepping up their game in the indie territory. They also they didn't show off any Diablo 3 running on the PlayStation 3 or 4, but they mentioned it again for some reason.
Exclusive items, yeah.
Uncharted.
Also, I think
skip
it's
over that.
coming for Xbox as well.
Exactly, yeah. So who cares? Speaking of games coming to Xbox, Final Fantasy Versus 13, also called Final Fantasy 15, and Kingdom Hearts 3. As our resident Japanese weeaboo Pratt, Zach, would you like to lament on these two games?
I think both are not exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah.
So originally I was saying, oh, this is a big win for Sony, but it's not an exclusive, so.
But you got to remember
all
that these
Final
two
Fantasy
games were
games the
announced
same.
at Sony's conference, so it's going to bear that. It's going to have that,
Yeah,
so brand
That's true.
association with Sony.
yeah. After people watch that, they'll be like, oh, I want a PlayStation now. Kingdom Hearts 3 should be amazing.
Oh, see now, that was again childhood PS2.
It can be
Final
yours for
Fantasy,
$3.99, Ben.
Final Fantasy
Thank God for
15. I personally didn't like the look of it that much, but I guess I'll play it because the last Final Fantasy I played was Final Fantasy 12, which was the last one on PS2.
You know what the
And
amazing thing
it's-
is about that statement, Zach? You saying you don't like the look of it, and yet, like, a lot of people who have traditionally not like people who I follow, especially Phil Fish, who's the guy who did Fez. He says he hates Japanese games, and he saw the trailer for Final Fantasy 15 and thought that looks cool. I might play that. So it's just really weird reverse.
It's
I
like
have
the
no idea what's
combat
going on
that
there.
was occurring in there just does not seem Final Fantasy-ish to me. It might be because I skipped over Final Fantasy 13 where there was quite a big change.
I think most people
But
skipped over Final Fantasy 13.
no, a lot of people played it. That's why there's so many bad reviews about it. But
The fair
that's
point.
part of the reason why I didn't bother playing it, just because there was so much bad review on it. But yeah, Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So after that, they showed that they tried to demo Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, but seemed to be running into some technical issues with that
Lag.
game, which is a real shame. But that game looks really pretty. Um, Watch Dogs, they demoed. That game still looks really good. Anyone got anything to say on that?
It looks like
Again,
it'll be complicated.
um,
And it
like it'll
looks
be
like it'll be
scripted as fuck.
annoying. Yeah.
again, E3 demos, they're kind of designed to kind of show off the best of the best of things. Like, I think that's just the nature of the beasts. Naturally, they're not going to play like that every single second, but they're kind of just giving you a vertical slice of what could happen if, given control. NBA 2K14, I don't actually, like, that's how late that thing lasted. I don't remember that game being shown. I kind of remember the Elder Scrolls Online being announced for consoles.
I think that was when the guy was talking to his own CG self.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. Fair enough.
What's
Yeah,
that?
I do. There was a basketball player talking to his in-game character. It looked kind of impressive, actually. Um,
That seems really
Elder
good.
Scrolls Online for consoles. Anyone interested? Especially
I'll be right
considering
back.
we were already saying that Elder Scrolls Online was a MMO we were looking forward to.
Oh, I'm too old for MMOs, Will. I'm too old.
Matt, I bet you're playing an MMO right now.
No.
You're
You
not
were playing
playing
WoW
WoW
the
right
other
now?
day.
No, I stopped playing it now. I cancelled my subscription. No.
He'll be back. That's what Blizzard say every time he cancels. He'll be back.
Well, the thing,
It's
what they're
just-
doing with Elder Scrolls Online looks like is because Elder Scrolls is such a single player. It's all about you being a hero. It's sort of like I listened to a podcast about it, and it sounds like what they're doing now is it's kind of going to be like you are a single player hero. Just so happens that other people are around, but what your choices are yours and theirs are theirs, and you're not really going to interact. No one gives a shit. Just a single player with other people around is what I've heard.
So it's
so far.
basically co-op.
Yeah, I mean, even one of the guys that works there made a statement, which this might just be him saying it in passing, so you don't know whether it's like official or anything. But he said
Yeah.
like, don't think of it as like Elder Scrolls the MMO. Think of it as multiplayer Elder Scrolls, and there's actually a difference there.
That's fair enough.
And that actually sounds exciting. They also showed
It
a
looks like
CG trailer
Skyrim as
for
well.
Mad Max, which is being developed by Avalanche Studios, not the Disney Avalanche Studios, the other Avalanche Studios who made Just Cause 2. So get pumped, because there's going to be another one of those games. Only this time it's got Mad Max. Excited? Yes? No?
I don't know what.
I don't remember it, so no.
Just Cause
Uh,
2 was good, so hopefully this will be good.
The trailer was where the Mad Max character doesn't waste the shotgun bullet on the guy who's begging for death, so he just runs him over.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then I tell you what, they really finished with a showstopper. Well, actually, they finished with a showstopper that was a game, Destiny, which I think looks incredible. Like
Yeah.
Bungie meets Borderlands meets an MMO.
Yeah,
I think
I mean, they showed
it looks amazing. It looks like it's going to be so much fun, just kind of wandering around doing stuff, playing by
It looks
yourself
good.
or with mates or with random strangers. It's really out there.
And they had like the event at the end where it was like a boss fight, but whoever's around can come and join in,
Yeah.
which is really hard to balance.
Um, Maybe they'll have like some kind of what's the word, where it adapts to your level depending on like maybe how many people are around.
Yeah,
Or maybe,
hard
you know,
to
if you want to
balance.
stomp a boss, you just kind of get too many. Like, imagine that's the same thing in real life, right? Or in any MMO. You know, like I'm gonna go kill Hogger. We can either take 2 guys and have a hard time with it, or we can go and get 10 guys and just thrash him. And then yeah, I guess Sony really dropped the mic with making a big deal that PlayStation 4 will support used games. There's no online requirement to check in. They kind of snuck in the you know you got to pay for multiplayer thing, but you know what? People didn't really seem to care at the time, and I don't think it's that big of an issue. And they announced a price of £349, which is a full £80 below the Xbox One.
The price point
Um,
was the
Mm.
mic drop, wasn't it? That's when they ended.
yeah, pretty
Right on
much.
that. That was a big finisher.
It was a hell of an FU to Microsoft to kind of like, even if it's not necessarily what it is at face value, like saying that yeah, we're with the gamers, we're with you, and like we're showing that by saying that we support used games, you don't need to log in all the time, and that we're going to be cheaper than the other guy who's like been getting a load of stick in the news for like, you know, the impression that the media has generated is that Microsoft is screwing you over, whereas we're coming out and saying that we're not going to screw you over and we're cheaper. It's a hell of a you know marketing scheme basically. Like essentially the
Yeah,
Sony, you know, like Sony haven't won anything, but they certainly pulled ahead a little bit in terms of just like public perception.
I think like specifically on that day they pulled out ahead. Whatever happens will be different story or whatever.
I was
But
speaking
the
to
thing is,
my mum and dad the day after, and it may not be in the night after, but the day after, like, maybe the Wednesday. And they're not gamers, but they heard the stuff on the radio, and my dad said he wouldn't buy an Xbox One on principle because you don't own the games. You kind of you're renting them. Um, and so that's that's the idea that he got from the radio. I'm guessing was BBC Radio One, or sorry, BBC Radio Two. So if that's the kind of the messaging that's being put out there to people, you know, everyday Joes who know nothing about E3, then Microsoft have got a real problem, and I think Sony have pushed that problem by being the polar opposite.
yeah, because the thing
That's the
is, the
media,
mass
though, isn't it?
market is the average Joe. That's why the
Exactly,
average
you know.
Joe.
I mean, the initial sales won't be. The initial sales will be guys like us who need this console day one because they need to play new video games because we fucking love video games. But 2, 3 years from now, you know, Dad's gonna remember like, oh, that Xbox One, that you know, wasn't that a bad thing? Because he's not gonna follow the news like closely on it. So unless it gets into the news again about being a really good thing, like Nintendo Wii did, and which is why it blew up, and because that thing was on
But
like BBC Good Morning or whatever.
Xbox comes out in November, right?
Yes.
And Sony said late winter, what, December? What do they say?
No. They said later this year.
Later this year. So they didn't specify end of the year or anything.
The theory
It could
is
be.
Activision have said that they're going to be coming out on all consoles in time, and that they won't that, like Call of Duty Ghosts will be coming out in November, and it will launch on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So the
Alright.
theory is that because Call of Duty Ghosts comes out, I think November 5th, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 have to come out in the week of November the 1st to November the 5th. That's
Yeah.
the current theory going around, which would be crazy for two consoles to come out at the same time because, like, not everyone, like, hardly anyone has the money to drop nearly £1,000 on two consoles that they can't play at the same time.
I'm saving.
So,
I've got a next gen fund going.
yeah, you needed to start a trust fund like 2 years ago to be ready for this thing.
Yeah.
So I mean that's like just hearsay at the moment, but if that's true, then the opening week of November is going to be bloody.
But how big is it if like one console comes out a week before the other or whatever? I think that's big.
Very. Yeah.
Because like
It,
you have everyone that's kind of they
People are on the
might
fence
be,
about what not sure
they
which one
could
to
even
get. You
be
mean?
they could even be like on either side of the fence by a little bit, like 1 foot on either side or whatever. Um, but if one comes out a week earlier, everyone's got that kind of itch or impulse to buy next gen. It doesn't matter what it is.
I imagine my problem would be, like, this is for me specifically, is that Batman comes out at the end of October, so I'm not going to be interested in a new console for like that first for the week. So the new console needs to come out like mid-November for it to be viable for me. Like that's obviously not everyone. Not everyone gives a shit about Batman for some reason. I don't understand why. But it's a weird time framing. Plus, you've also got GTA 5 coming out in September, and that game can last people months. You know, so I I'm really confused as to what like when these because they have to launch before Christmas, right? And I think they kind of have to launch in November.
Yeah, they have to launch before Christmas.
Yeah.
They got to. They can't miss out on that. Like they can't,
Yeah.
especially with Sony having PlayStation having the lower price. They can't miss out on Christmas.
So yeah. Is there anything else? Do we want to talk about Nintendo? Or I mean, none of us here are really like like full-on supporters of Nintendo. I like Nintendo, but
I couldn't
They
give two monkeys.
we could talk about that. They got new Mario Kart coming out, new Super Smash Brothers coming out, new 3D
They-
World, which seems cool.
There's not really anything unexpected.
Yeah, no surprises, which is
Yeah, there's no
Nintendo
surprises.
over through and through, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the reason they didn't go on stage is because they know they didn't have any hardware. So why waste the money going on stage when you can just do a Nintendo Direct to show off your games?
Yeah,
Uh,
which I think was the right thing, maybe for them,
yeah,
because they didn't
it
get
saves a lot of
overshadowed
money.
by the big guys.
It saves a lot of money.
Yeah, so that was E3. Guys, are we happy? I'm going to go down. Ben, happy with this year's E3?
I didn't manage to get to watch a lot of it, but from what I saw, yeah.
Cool. Ryan. Ryan died. He's just so tired
We lost.
Oh,
of
hello. There, I was muted.
Go on.
It's pretty much the best D3 in years. It's, two new generation consoles coming out. Loads of new games. So it should be the best D3 in quite a while.
Yeah, pretty much. Matt?
I was happy about all the games they announced instead of like fucking like gimmicky hardware
TV.
shit. But at the same
Weren't
time,
excited for Connectables 2.
I was just I was left a bit of a bad sort of feeling in my stomach about it because they look like they're going in one direction with the games that they're showing off, and it's not a direction I like.
Again, I think that stuff will take time in terms of like it's just because it's new hardware doesn't mean that the innovations in design are going to come straight
I know
away.
that,
Like
but
the swap from PS2 to PS3, it was very much like your third-person platformy kind of stuff, and like your more action games, and then the shooters started coming in. So I think it makes sense for the shooters to kind of be at the beginning of the generation, and then transition over to whatever is more popular after shooters. I'm guessing maybe multiplayer role-playing games. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
will, I will
There's
say one
obviously
thing.
a couple of things, but overall, I'm kind of left a bit about it.
Still gonna buy both though, right?
Probably. I ain't got anything else to spend my money on.
Ah, yeah, totally
Aw.
fair point. Good reason to not have a pet or a girlfriend or a mortgage. Zach.
Ben wanted to say something.
Go on, Ben.
The only thing that really annoys me is the whole console war. It needs to stop. Like, each to their own. I don't.
It'll stop when someone
like,
dies.
It will stop when the other person stops making consoles. and then oh yeah, you know, we beat you out and all this bollocks.
I think we all know that that would be very bad for the industry, though, because I mean, the good part about the war is, if we're going to call it the war, is that it forces Microsoft and Sony to try and one-up each other. So therefore, we as a consumer get better items, you know, because we end up getting
Yeah.
like more stuff in the box with better games. Because if Microsoft or Sony don't produce those kind of things, they're going to get knocked out. So you know, in the long run, it's a good thing for this competition. It's healthy, but
Yeah,
the attitude that the internet generally brings to this war is immature and boring, and I feel sorry for people who've been in this industry much longer than you know we've experienced it, because they just must be so fucking tired of it, because it's been going on forever.
that is
Mm.
that's capitalism, and it's why capitalism is good. Like, if there was only one company doing consoles, they'd have no reason to make anything better. They could make one console, and that would be the console for the rest of eternity, because they have nothing to like beat.
Which I
There needs to
think is
be
why
competition.
Nintendo are in trouble, is because Nintendo don't actually have anyone like directly competing with them, because like with the Wii, they had the motion control stuff locked down. With the handheld stuff, they got that locked down. You know, the only real competitor is iPhone, because PlayStation Vita doesn't have the games. Now with the Wii U, they can't compete with PS4 or Xbox One, so
Yeah,
they can
they're on
either
this
like
weird.
scrap Wii U, or they'll just keep making like you know just incremental steps in the new Mario game, rather than
The Wii U
really
is in this
trying to beat.
weird like half generation.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if in the next generation leap, Nintendo will still be around. I don't doubt that. It might be their last console, but I wonder
I
if their
think
next console will
Nintendo.
compete with the next gen or the next gen.
I think by the time next gen rolls around, Nintendo will be a very different. Have a very different face or whatever. Like, they'll be
It
different.
depends how many board members survive to the next generation.
I think
They've got to hold on.
the next new
You need
console, the next new console will be the
Um,
Steam box.
that's a fair. You know what? Yeah, that's the next exciting piece of news. Is what Valve have been up to, and what Half-Life 3
Yeah.
is going to release on. Right,
Um,
gentlemen. Unless anyone else has anything to say.
you wanted me to go my E3 highlights.
Oh
Ryan's not
yeah, and then
breathing,
you
man.
said no.
Ryan,
However, I do have to
please
leave
throw
you
in your
because
microphone.
I have to go to
All right,
bed.
Ryan. Thanks very much.
Alright.
See you
Bye.
See
later.
you next
Bye.
week. Go on, Zach.
Um,
E3 highlight
yeah,
or
for
were
me,
you impressed?
highlights are Titanfall, Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare, Battlefield 4. I think that's pretty much it in terms of games. And then, obviously, double console, heavily featured, and Sony's attack on Microsoft. All good.
That was really childish
It was just
and
I think it's
unnecessary.
good to
That
see
wasn't
the
his genius.
industry just being like this isn't all just you know it isn't just by the numbers. It's like it can get like brutal and interesting. You know, there's nothing more boring than watching two people just
If you're
knock like backwards and forwards. Like no, like Sony actually did something unexpected, and that was exciting to watch.
if your competitor fucks up, you remind people that they fucked up.
Yeah, but Microsoft didn't do it to PS3.
Just
I don't
because
see.
then that's on Microsoft, isn't it? If they, I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate, but if Microsoft didn't do it to Sony when Sony were fucking up, then that's Microsoft's fault. Not yeah.
Also, I don't think you can compare it directly. Like, in this situation, we've got two consoles on the same stage kind of thing, and it's very close together, these two, in terms of
What I
dates and
think it
stuff.
is they realised how much the PS3 fucked up compared to the Xbox, and now that they've had a go, and now they've done better, they're fucking being really big-headed about it.
I think they have the right to be at the moment in time, but you know this isn't over. For me, seeing like these next generation games and like where we could go in terms of like this is just the start. These like this isn't an end goal. This is like the first steps towards what games could be like.
Yeah.
You imagine back when the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 were showing off their games, we didn't imagine that we'd be ending up with Sleeping Dogs and Grand Theft Auto 5 and like games like Mirror's Edge, Plants vs Zombies, Minecraft. You know, we didn't. Those weren't the games that we were thinking about. We were thinking about like the next like cartoony platformer game, or maybe something that looks slightly more gritty and realistic. And we got from that we got our Gears of War and we got our Call of Duty. We didn't expect Battlefield 3 with 64 players online, huge battlefields, and just destructible
We didn't get
environments in Bad
64
Company 2.
players online.
Yeah, we did, Matt. Yeah, we did.
Not on the console, we didn't.
Shh.
Must be high.
PC.
So
Always
yeah, I think
all-powerful.
like seeing games like Titanfall that already look amazing, and then like thinking, well, what are they going to do to make like improve on that? Because they have to, right? They have to think of something. That's for me is my E3 highlight.
Before we
Right, so thank.
Before we finish up, I just want to establish if anyone here not a PC person, like if I had to choose between PC and a console for
Fucking
PC,
hate PC. I think that
So-
like they don't necessarily compete with each other because like I like sitting down to my console and playing with console games. Like why not both? I really have to wrap this up because we're like over 3 hours long. I think I'll have to split this podcast into, as Matt was suggesting earlier. So I'm going to finish off with a question from last week's podcast from V1 Man Army. I'm pooping to the
Really?
sound of everyone's voice. Thanks very much for the question, V1 Man Army. And we'll see you next week for another edition of Oh My God, only 4 XP.
Wait, isn't it just going to be a different part of this one?